Oh yes, legends, how's everybody doing? Hope you're doing great. Let's analyze the situation for the price of Bitcoin right away. Much love. We're going to take a look at many things today. I'm going to keep this a very long live stream, so make sure to grab your cup of tea, your cup of coffee. We're going to be talking about a lot of things today, guys. A lot of things. Much love to everyone. Smash up the like button if you do enjoy the content. Let's turn the music down, or maybe turn the music up. It is Wednesday. Much love, guys. Let's go through the comment section as we smash up the like button and see what the people are saying. I've got a lot of things to talk about today. We're going to even talk about stock market, indices, NASDAQ, S&P 500. Just really looking for new all-time highs consistently. We're going to talk about support levels, even for some trading opportunities on the stock market. I'm happy to buy every good dip at good support levels on the stock market. Give or take NASDAQ, S&P 500, we can go through them. Gold also at a very interesting level that we did mention yesterday. Happy to take a long attempt in this zone. And yeah, we can go through many of these markets, but also Bitcoin, where we are at the moment. So dancing around here at the point of control value area low. So we did lose value area high, choppiness, and had a major move to the downside, which for me, I was not expecting to be so aggressive, let's be honest. However, I was interested in taking some longs. However, I did not take any long attempt throughout the movement down, as we were losing levels of support locally, such as a daily level, major loss right over here. We had a daily order block with another daily level here. Just a tiny little reaction for 10 minutes, rolled over. So what I'm interested in right now, we got the major liquidation. We got the major bloodbath. I'm interested in longs. Matter of fact, I'm in a small long position right now. Without a doubt, I am favoring $60,000 to be hit in the next coming months, maybe weeks. It's, you know, the bias is bearish. However, I do believe that a bounce, a range, a little bit of a recovery here is very much a possibility. And we are at the strongest support zone that we have throughout the entire range. So it's good support. The reaction is good. We've got the biggest move happening yesterday. And we're going to talk about the Elliott wave scenarios, Elliott wave counts. And for me, because of this brutal move to the downside, I was classing this move here to the downside that we had about 2 weeks ago as a wave 3. Wave 3 right over here, 4-5, right? Do we find that bottom formation here? We lost the level. You know, we want to be very, very cautious here with the longs as you're losing levels, guys, right? Now that we've got this big brutal move down, for me, this is either an extended wave 5 or it's wave 3. And yeah, we do get the choppiness here at support, sweep up a bit more liquidity, and then start coming up to fetch the liquidity to the upside. Naturally, swing shorts. You know, whoever's been shorting from 82K zone, absolutely wonderful. I do know that there was and still is some people that are in that short, which is totally fine. You know, you want to take some profits on the way down, right? You can't have 100% of the position open. So we are at good support. There's no way I'm going to short down here. You know, I'm interested in looking for the bounces, okay? So it doesn't mean that if I'm looking for longs in this territory, you know, that's it. We got the move down. I'm flipping extremely bearish here, so I'm flipping to short trades. Absolutely not. We are at support. We are at a very, very good zone, and a local bounce is, you know, very much expected. We are at solid support. The brutal price action happened throughout the last couple of days, yeah, I am favoring $60,000. But does this mean that, I missed shorting here? I was looking for longs. I suddenly flip bearish right now to get into shorts. Not me anyway. There could be some local scalps and for shorts and longs, okay? But the overall interest for a rangy bounce is more attractive, okay? To get a movement up of a few $1,000s in the next coming days. Now, I've had some interesting DMs, good DMs, bad DMs. It is what it is. This happens once a month or so, guys. We talk about this. We cannot be 100% accurate. Talking about being accurate, guys. The content, as you know, is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. The information provided is not guaranteed to be accurate or complete. Always conduct your own research before making any financial decision or taking any trading decision, guys. I'm just a random dude on YouTube that has experience and wants to share his knowledge and his analysis, right? So take that into consideration. And about this movement down, people seem to forget, how we've been accurately looking at this movement to the downside, because overall we have been bearish since $82,000, trying to predict the exact top based on resistance, based on Elliott wave theory. We had the exact finished impulse count at 82.7k, which was the local highs here, to be finished a few weeks ago, and executing that short, giving that swing short option for many people, and matter of fact, maintaining the potential bullishness throughout the rally that we had in April. I made significant gains throughout this move. The fact that I missed out on shorting this momentum throughout the last week doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. It means that I need to look for new opportunities, right? So the situation here is people that haven't managed risk, right? They haven't managed their risk, and I know people have got a little bit burnt here if they were looking for long setups, okay, and they didn't manage risk. You lose a level, right? The local structure is bearish. You got bearish CVD divergence throughout the entire move to the downside that we had yesterday. It's something that we want to take into consideration, because when you have a three-wave potential ABC and motive waves to the downside, you need to understand the risks, right, of extending that move down, which is obviously losing the value area high, losing the trend if you wish as well, and having a head and shoulder structure right over here, right, which you literally textbook head and shoulder going to the target zone, which is where we hit here at the 66 65k zone, right? So now that we're down here, what we're gonna discuss a little bit of what I'm looking for, how to manage risk. We did get a reaction from the point of control. We just about tapped the value area low. We did not SFP. This still is a very valid long setup swing failure pattern from the low at 65k. Very valid. Wick it, then get the bounce. Value area low. We've hit a weekly level. Weekly level also being hit, getting the reaction. Weekly levels are very strong, especially if you have all of this confluence, point of control, value area low, right? Weekly level, there's a lot going on here in this territory at the 65 66k zone. So it is a good support zone, right? And it can have those double bottoms, liquidity grabs, and it's an interesting area for a local bounce, right? Be it a bounce of a few days, revisiting the lows for a double bottom, and if it tanks down and loses the lows, you do not maintain a long position in this area. This is super important to understand, that when you lose support, I'm not going to be the one that is going to be underwater. I am worried about people that are trying to long and expecting a bounce and not managing risk with their stop losses, with their potential new entries for an SFP, okay? And maintaining that trade open, right? And being underwater and having their liquidity, their liquidation price at 58K, for example, and believing that you're not going to get liquidated, because if the market loses the support, then we're just heading directly to sub 60K, right? And this is the zone where, I suggest, right, no financial advice, you should not be in any long positions if you lose 64.9K, which is this higher low, based on the lack of support. Any wicks beneath it, any reclaims are valid to execute that long. However, the stop loss needs to be in place. And the main reason I'm giving this little bit of education, risk management, guys, because I do not care about this. I do not care about missing this movement to the downside. Okay, I made a little bit of profit on a movement down, some intraday setups throughout this zone, managed to get into the rally of April, and the problem is I didn't take advantage of this latest move down. But what I'm more concerned about, and this is because of the DMs that I got, okay, and also in the community you got one or two people that obviously haven't had this good risk management. This is why I go through this, guys, because it's important, because you want to educate everybody, right? You want everybody in the same boat with the risk management, because I feel them, right? I'm more concerned. I got beautiful messages also from Beth Maria as well, getting a nice long, I'm not sure if she's here, but I'll go through that, about yesterday's plan. She got into a long, she profited, she took over 40% of the profits, stop loss at break even based on what we talked about yesterday. And that's great risk management, great execution based on a plan that we talked about on the stream yesterday. But it doesn't matter if I have 40 people thanking me and saying awesome, great, this, that, the other, and I have 2 people or 3 that have literally got their account blown up, or they are at significant losses. We need to be all great, guys. We need to be all good. And if I only have 2 people out of 50, right? You got 48 nice messages, people profiting, and the other managing risk, little stop losses. They're happy. It doesn't matter. If I only have 1 or 2, we need to go back through the lessons here, right? Back through the plans, the strategy, the risk management. And, in this case, if we are going to get any local relief, local bounce in this area, no matter how many times you can chop the lows here, but SFP is great. As explained, this is not a zone where you would want to keep a long setup, okay, open. Say that I'm long in here. My stop loss, my liquidation is not going to be here, because I know there is low probability, right, and coming up here for the moment, unless we get insanely bullish market structure change and we can, speculate on multiple 1-2s or, a big impulse up correction, say, okay, we don't know how this next leg up is going to happen, but overall, this is not a bad risk reward. This is a bad, risk reward trade. That's poor risk management. So, if you and this would be a bounce, let's say to the Valley area high, right, which is naturally going to be resistance. You lose this level, there's no adding to position aggressively, right? If you have a plan with low risk management, just need to be aware, right? Say that you're long here, for example. I mean, naturally longing a little lower would have been best. If you're longing a little bit high, you need to manage risk obviously more, decreasing the amount that you're willing to lose. And if you come down and you wick that low with liquidity, I prefer to get stopped out and re-enter a new position for that potential relief that could happen in the next couple of weeks. But it's a new position. It's still a 1% loss. This new trade, I can go a little bit more aggressive, as it could be an SFP. You could make a 6-to-1 risk reward depending on the wick to the downside, right? It all depends on the entry. But I'm not worried about it, right? I'm worried about the people that do not know how to handle the trades and handle their risk management. That's what's more concerning for me, of course. So we're going to go through the Elliott wave counts. We're going to go through this brutal move down. Is it a wave 3? Is it an extended wave 5? If it's a wave 3, then naturally we're looking for 4 5s, right? We're looking for this to be a completed impulse, which could take another week or so, where it can be choppy. You can chop the lows here before you get that reversal bounce. So we need to discuss that. We need to discuss the overall plan here. Anyway, let's go through the comment section. Say hello to the beautiful community, and grab your cup of tea, cup of coffee, guys. We're going to take a look at NASDAQ, S&P 500, and even gold, guys. Okay. Wouldn't be too sure about looking at altcoins, but we can take a look at altcoins later on. Okay, so let me go quickly through the comment section, say hello to the wonderful community, and see what's going on here. Okay, much love to everybody. King K, how are you doing, my man? Good day, legends. Destroy the like button. Hi, legends. Matteo, how are you doing, my man? Much love. Crypto by Mattia, hey, nice thumbnail. I got some ideas from you, as you can see, my man. Hope you're doing great. Mattia in that epic swing short that he's been adding. Big trader, Mattia. Big swings. Congratulations on that epic swing short. I got wicked out. I didn't manage to swing it down in the end. I took advantage of the April swing long, and the swing short couldn't find a solid entry. But it is what it is. It doesn't matter. A few day trades there and here. Congratulations on that massive swing short, my man. Over $500,000 almost realized at the moment. CBM, much love to you, my man. Andy, you legend. Hope you're well. Let's get this show on the road. Wayne, thank you very much for commenting and joining the stream here today. What's up, fam? Elrich, how are you doing? If you're not already following him, everyone check out CBM. Absolutely, guys, go and check out CBM. He's a legend, absolute legend. You used to play tennis a lot with CBM in Dubai. When I was living in Dubai, I got fed up of Dubai. Me personally, it wasn't for me. I had to come back to Spain. Nature, Dubai was not for me, not my vibe anyway. But yeah, CBM is going to come visit me, Mattia. We're going to play some tennis. We're going to watch some tennis. We're going to do some hiking. We're going to do all sorts together. Shout out to CBM. Go and check him out, guys. Beachy, how are you doing? Yes, love early Andy streams. Much love. James Freedom XRP. Hello, legends. How are you doing, my man? Let's get the party started. David, shout out to you. Looking for a long, but BTC looks tired. It looks tired, but the good thing is that we at least stopped for the daily candle of yesterday. Okay, we have at least stopped, okay, after getting that increasing volume also on the daily, right? And this is what I like to see, get a stop, right? Price stops for a few hours in this zone, which makes it good to analyze the potential bounce. Okay, I cannot get extremely bearish down here, guys. I mean, come on, the biggest move has already happened. It's like getting bullish right over here, right? I know there was a lot of people calling for 90k next and all of that, guys, but we were spotting the overall potential end of the move here and starting to flip bearish. I know a lot of people are still short from 82k. Deviled, Path Maria, right, and a few of the legends in the community still in that swing. And this is the same idea. I'm not going to look for longs up here. It's the same thing. I'm not going to be looking for shorts down here. Yeah, some scalp shorts. There are some, intraday little scalp scenarios that I want to discuss today. But I'm not going to look for swing shorts down to 55k, which we could drop aggressively. I mean, the main higher time frame bias is to take out 60k. So yeah, longs, you want to take them with a pinch of salt. You want to be very, very cautious. But I think we could be getting there is the good chance of getting a better swing short in the next coming days, give or take 1 to 2 weeks, once we finished this aggressive move down. Okay, once this aggressive move down finishes, if we get some choppiness here throughout the next coming days, it's going to be looking relatively good to get that relief. And in the relief rally is where we need to be paying attention to get into new swing short positions or add to the swing shorts, right? If you do have from higher, to literally aim for sub 60k. So yeah, I mean, yeah, let's go through the comment section. Looking for a long, but BTC looks tired. Yes, sir. Good morning, fam. Much love. Oh no, much love to you. The message has been deleted. Much love, eh? Here, no hate. Okay, Andy, you're an artist. Your Picasso are my type of art. Yeah, Pathmadia shared a nice little profit today from the plan that was shared yesterday on YouTube on the stream, and she managed to scratch some dollars off the market and protecting position, and she just sent me a nice message to say, thank you, just followed the plan and executed. Absolutely wonderful to see. Joan, much love to you. A trader, Rose, how are you doing? Not a trade since last Friday. Let's go. No trade is also a good trade, right? Good day, Andy, says Rose. Much love to you. CBM, Crypto Biomatia, go and check him out. Nico Soapy, how are you doing, my man? Thanks for joining. I did overtrade the move down a little. Lol. Yeah, it does. It can happen, okay? It can happen. Sometimes we need to be very, very strict with loser level, and there's no, don't long, right? In that case. Red Flame, he is a grandmaster of trading. He knows what he's speaking. Interesting. Chichan. Okay, I'm going to short now. Wish you all the best, Chichan. Much love. Maybe a bounce will actually happen if every YouTuber will stop talking about it. Interested in gold, says Simple 3 Jack. Absolutely. We're going to take a look at some other gold. Let's go. Yeah, we can take a look at gold. I want to cover Bitcoin mainly because that's what we do. Yes, love early Andy streams. Okay, much love to everybody. Hello, Master RVM3. How are you doing? S&P 500 is dumping. Let's take a look at the S&P 500 or NASDAQ. Oh, nice little drop here on the NQ. I would be only more happy than looking at a nice drop here. A little bit of an SFP. I think this is a SFP of sweep of all of these lows. And yeah, this is interesting because it is coming to a very, very interesting area on the NASDAQ. I mean, this is if you want to trade. I know lots of the crypto exchanges do provide previous day value area low on the NASDAQ right there for the reaction bounce. NASDAQ is a very, very aggressive long setup. Very, very aggressive long setup. But this is what happens. I mean, there's nothing bearish about these moves, in my opinion. I mean, look at these steep movements down, right? You get these quick corrections, still forming higher lows overall. Very, very aggressive higher lows. Nothing to be worried about, in my opinion. I just see this as an opportunity, of course. Relatively quick, aggressive reaction and aggressive move down. But NASDAQ and S&P 500, the NASDAQ coming into previous day value area low, that is totally natural when you are trading above. This is actually valid for a long setup. You have to be relatively quick here. You don't want to get, late into the bounce. Yeah, this was very, very quick drop, as someone was saying here inside of the community. But I would say it was a quick quick valid long, also with the S&P 500 getting a swing failure pattern from those local lows. I mean, this is a quick execution. This is just to sweep up all of those late longs, right? Or people longing on this price action, right? People are expecting the all-time high when you get this, you know, channel formation, and then you sweep them out because you're going to get lots of longs, stop losses in this zone, and get a quick stop loss, and then, you know, just get back up to all-time high again, right? So yeah, this happened relatively quick, but valid SFP, and also on the Nasdaq previous day value area low, very valid for the quick execution, guys. You know, there's nothing bearish about this in my opinion. Anybody that wants to trade NQ or the S&P 500, guys, you can do so on, we've got a few exchanges available in the description if anybody's not aware. I know you can trade gold on Bluffin and many different stocks such as Tesla, but on 2bit, BTCC, on 2bit you do have the S&P 500, Nasdaq as well. BTCC also has that where you can trade the stock market, and I think this is a very valid long setup right there, just by hitting the previous day value area low, stop beneath the wick of the low. And yeah, very much not a bad move. Stock market and ES are very bullish, just very bullish, guys. You know, there's nothing bearish about this chart when you do zoom out on the Nasdaq. I mean, holy smokes, you know, whoever wants to be bearish on this, I don't know what to say. I think every dip is an opportunity at levels of support, right? So, and previous day value area low here clearly is a support zone for NQ. Let's go right away through Bitcoin most importantly, guys. I think Bitcoin, we need to cover Bitcoin. We'll go through stock market later on, okay? Next levels and scenarios. But I'm going to create a little bit of a plan which is more for the next 24 hours. So we can go later on into NQ, ES, which they literally move almost in the same way. Very similar. We can jump into gold, but first of all, mainly Bitcoin, right? What's going on with Bitcoin? And, you know, looking for a bounce here. You know, if I am concerned, right? Are many people looking for bounces here? Is every single YouTuber looking for a bounce here? Right? As Chichan said, well, that means that we're going to go lower. Not to worry. We go lower. You know, we've got a valid SFP level. And if we get down to 60K, I think it's going to be a time to start moving funds to exchanges and start buying Bitcoin. That's going to be my plan if we were to nuke down here, because I know that buying sub 60K is going to be a very good idea for the next coming years, right? So that will be the plan. If we do get that, you know, there is a plan. If we do get sub 60K, naturally for leverage trading would have to be waiting for structure and rest of it. But to start buying spot, holy smokes, you know, I will literally start sending funds to the exchanges, right, and start buying Bitcoin very aggressively. So anyway, let's grab the cup of tea. I like my cuppa. And let's dive in through the scenarios. No comments here. S&P dumping. Let me just refresh this, guys. I'm not sure if anybody's leaving some comments. Well, let's do a like button recount. Let's get to 100 likes. That would be awesome, guys, if we can get there. And let's cover Bitcoin most importantly. So first of all, regarding levels, let's just talk about the levels. Resistance and support are there to be broken. They are there to be broken, right? So we are getting a reaction here. There's a weekly level. You got the entire range since February, point of control, and value area low. Value area low just got that gentle tap. A nice little bounce of $2,000. I mean, come on, you know, nice little reaction bounce at the value area low, or, you know, SFB of the weekly, right? Little wick down and then recovery up. We are at support, right? There's no doubt about it. Considering Fibonacci, the 7/8 Fibonacci it's interesting where it is. It is just slightly below that wick. Interesting Fibonacci confluence as well for that SFB bounce. This is a good trade, guys. If we were to come down to that level at some point, be it today or in the next coming days, if we were to come down to that level, it's a good trading plan. Good trading plan. Wick it, get back above it, stop loss at the low, 2-3 to 1 risk reward. You might get some resistance and reverse down, but overall the bounce is high probability after a liquidity grab beneath this low. It is value area low supported, and value area low or value area high can get fake outs. You do get the fake outs, okay? You do get the fake outs of them, which do provide these reactionary trades, right? Intraday, right? So let's move into Elliott wave theory from this structure. On the higher time frame, let's get some levels out of the way here. On the higher time frame, this movement to the upside is high probability a 3-wave corrective structure. It's a 3-wave structure. High probability. If you have a high probability 3-wave corrective structure, it can already be an ABC, and this could be, you know, wave 2 or a wave B, right? If you're looking at this to be the impulse, and this could really accelerate down. Preferably this loses momentum a little bit here, we get that correction, and then, you know, break down here in an impulse to get to sub 60, even sub 50 potentially, right, in the next coming months. So yeah, I mean, this is naturally a possibility. It can be pretty brutal. We can go straight down. We can get a corrective bounce in the next 1 to 2 weeks and then move down. The general bias is that this is corrective, and we're likely going to take out the low at some point in the future, right? Near future, not talking about a year, near future, right? This could extend naturally into a zigzag W, right? This could have been a sharp corrective structure. We need to talk about that, right? Zooming in on the 1 hour time frame, we'll discuss this latest move down because it's the most important one to understand where we're sitting and what possibilities do we have, right? Understand carefully every single scenario and where the trading setups could lie, okay? But yeah, could this be wave X, or wave X could extend a little bit more and then we form wave Y? The fact that we retraced down below the golden pocket, almost hitting the 7/8 Fibonacci, this does reduce the probabilities for a WX and a zigzag Y, double zigzag to the upside when you have a deep wave X that gets sub the golden pocket, 0.78, 0.7 Fibonacci to be more exact, from the low to the high. Based on Elliott wave theory, is not because I want to, I'm just a messenger here. It reduces the probability for a double zigzag, and it gives the more probability side for a sideways WXY. That is, if this is going to be a sideways WXY, right, where you could form a flat structure here and then roll down, or you could form a triangle scenario also, where the price also ends up breaking to the downside. But overall, taking out the highs at 82.8k does reduce in probability based on the deep retracement that we got here. Okay, so bullish options to take out $82,000 are not looking too great. They're not looking too great. One scenario that would be very, very speculative naturally is a three-wave move up, correction, three-wave move up, right? Correction, three-wave move up, and form a diagonal here throughout the next coming months. Yeah, that's something that could happen, but you know, we ain't going to go down that rabbit hole. You know, this would have to have the formation, and diagonals are low probability anyway on its own, and we are in the bear market, so well, just things to be aware of that it could form in the next coming months, right? Bullish options, they're just not looking good, guys. You know, I'm just favoring the bears to take out 60k in the future. We're just trying to understand the probabilities of the bulls as well. Could we have an expanding diagonal here? Because technically, if you do connect from this move up to the retracement higher low to the next high to the next retracement, there is a 5-wave move to the upside in an expanding diagonal. Expanding diagonals are very, very rare on the chart, but that gives you the option for this to be a wave 1 or a wave A. And expanding diagonals are very, very, very rare, but they're not impossible. They're not impossible, but this would be one bullish option if we were to form a higher low from $60,000 to start pumping right in the next coming weeks. Because we have a very solid support level, you know, getting fake outs from 65k is a very, very valid option, right? It is a very, very valid option here that we do not break down in a straight line sub 65k. However, as explained, this is not a zone that I will have long positions. Right, I will not have my liquidation price down here below $60,000. No way, it's not happening. And this is what I fear about irresponsible traders, right? Especially that are following the channel. We lose 65k, I will no longer be in. I won't be in a long position, and I hope that you are also not entering a long position, because I want to protect you from, you know, these kind of events, right? So expanding diagonal, low probability. This is just something that we don't see too often. Expanding diagonal in a motive wave for either a wave 1 or a wave A. If you ask me right now, where is the last time that you saw an expanding diagonal, I have to say I don't remember. I don't remember the last time where I saw an expanding diagonal for a wave 1 or a wave A. I literally can't find it throughout the last few years. So, I mean, that's how rare it is. This is why we don't consider it too much, right? Expanding diagonal is rare. If you ask me to find one right now in a wave 1 or a wave A, I can say I can't find one. I don't know where there is one. Okay, so this is what rare it is compared to a normal impulse, or an impulse with an expanding wave 5 or a wave 1, more common, right, than a expanding diagonal. So yeah, we're gonna go through the scenarios of the 4-hour time frame. The 4-hourly time frame is what I want to cover here based on this movement to the downside. Okay, Big move in the end. For me, it was unexpected. I'm not going to lie here. It's unexpected this to be so aggressive. However, we got the aggressiveness down, so we just need to accept, based on this momentum from $82,000, what am I looking for here based on Elliott wave theory, right? What do we have? What do we have from here? Let's go right away and do the different counts. Because we have high amount of volume, when we take into consideration Elliott wave theory, guys, what is more common? Let's talk about the impulsive move, then we'll talk about the corrective structure, which is you can fit a 3-wave correction. You can fit one here. We will talk about that later on. But let's go step by step based on the probabilities, guys, right? Because we analyze the chart based on probabilities. Greetings from Palma de Mallorca, Andy. No te creo. You're in Palma de Mallorca? I don't believe you. From Palma de Mallorca, vámonos. Right. When we consider Elliott wave theory and we talk about an impulsive move down, the probabilities for a wave 3 to be the extended wave is much higher. Probability for an extended wave 5. Okay? These do exist. They do exist. Okay? They do exist very much. And however, these exist even more, right? You see this more often on the chart, how the market moves, than this. But this is not impossible. They are more often seen than expanding diagonals or contracting diagonals. These have higher probability based on diagonals. So is it possible? Let's talk about the highest probability. If we are looking at the highest probability scenario here, most commonly the biggest wave with the highest amount of volume throughout the downtrend to be a wave 3, we have to connect 1-2s, some kind of 1-2s in this zone. Because here you do have the count of having an impulsive move to the downside in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 corrective move, very, very small correction. But this is how I would approach this scenario. We have the possibility of this being a wave 1 right there. All of this move, 5 wave down in a wave 1, correction in a wave 2. Shallow, but it did hit the 382 Fibonacci, so that is very much valid for a minimum target of a correction. Wave 2 right over here. We are counting the most bearish case scenario, which means that, you know, we've developed a wave 3 throughout the last 24 to 48 hours. We have to consider this next move down that we did have last Wednesday and Tuesday to Thursday, basically, as another wave 1 and another wave 2. There's no other way to look at it. So can this be a 1-2 and this a 1-2, as the move from Monday to Tuesday, right, has been the most aggressive move with the highest amount of volume? Then we would have our wave 3 here. And because we got the stop, because we did get the stop here yesterday, right, early this morning, right, we're getting a little bit of a bounce. There's no more aggressive follow through at the moment. right? Because yesterday was pretty brutal, right? With the volume, it just continued breaking down, right? It seemed like it was going to sink to the ground below 60k yesterday, right? Yesterday was like, holy moly, right? It was just going to go down sub 60. But it eventually stops at some point, right? And this is where it becomes interesting. Because you can connect the dots, you can chill, you can look at the lower time frames to see what's going on. We'll move forward into that now in the next coming minutes. So yeah, this could be the wave 3 end stages, and because we do have the double 1-2, we got the largest amount of volume being in this aggressive drop in the last 2 days. You want to see some similar corrections to the wave 2s here to finish your 4-5s. This is one scenario. This is the highest probability kind of motive wave, where your wave 3 is the most brutal and has the highest amount of volume. We'll get to this one right over here, because there is an interesting take about having an expanding 5th wave on this impulse. And expanding wave 5s, when they are common, when there's fear in the market or a massive liquidation event, right? So could have this been the liquidation fearful move down, and then we start slowing down and getting some upside momentum, right? I do think that there is a good chance for this, and the main reason is the big support that we do have here, which is the value area low point of control. This is a massive level which we need insane selling pressure to break through this zone. This has been a demand zone, as you can see, right? Higher low, demand zone. This is a demand zone right there. Hence the point of control and the value area low. There's been buying pressure in this territory, right? It's a demand zone. Naturally coming back down to a demand zone, the reaction is there. That this is a zone where people have been buying, right, or longing Bitcoin. Hence the point of control, and hence the local stop that we've got here. So going back, zooming in here to this price action. What we can see, distance music, much love to you. I can see many messages from you that you are in Palma de Mallorca. BTC will dump to 64k. This freaking long will liquidate me. Have a trade on what's going on. The only person commenting right now is distance music. Make it pump, Andy. Thank you so much. Entry 68.6k. Lol, I'm screwed. Well, yeah, that entry was not great, right? Not great entry. I would rather enter down here at the slowdown, at the reaction, at value area low, right, or in this territory. But anyway, everybody trades differently. Just try to stay as safe as possible, not risking more than you're willing to lose. What can we say, right? So yeah, going about through this impulse, right? This is what usually happens, right? This is the most common thing to see, is a 5-wave move down, with the strongest wave being the wave 3 and the highest amount of volume. So we need to be aware of the choppiness getting down here to attempt to break the value area low and this higher low right over here. It could be possible throughout the next coming days. This zone becomes attractive to look for longs, guys. Okay? And it's a safe zone. Remember what I said at the beginning of the stream. This area, I will not be in any long positions in this zone between 65k and 60k. This is important to understand. Muy importante. muy importante. We lose 65k, I am out of any long attempts. Literally out. I am not going to be holding any trade underwater on a long position and getting wrecked, guys. This does not happen to me. I get stopped out. I can lose 1-2%, maybe even 3% on a trade. That is normal. That's natural. But we don't get wrecked here, okay? And there was a couple of people that got wrecked with this movement down. And I don't want people to have that, right? This is why we talk about, you lose a major level, screw the longs, right? Screw the longs. If you lose a major pivot daily level, right, and you're breaking it, and you have volume increasing and bearish CVD divergence, screw the long. There's no longs to be looked at if that level is lost. And the same theory happens here. You lose 65k, I don't have any support. We might nuke down, to, and this extends a wave 3, and then the 4-5s happen here, 1-2s, 1-2s, and then 3 absolutely nukes. There's no long here. There's no long. I will not be having any long position. I would rather cut the loss if any long attempts are taken in this area, be it double bottom, value area low, right? Then holding a long or adding to a long position, guys. Do not practice this kind of trading, because you'll get wrecked, and then I'm gonna get messages from people that are getting wrecked. And why do I repeat this? Because people still do it. People still do it. For me, we lose this low. Yeah, don't worry about me. I won't be in a long position. I'm more worried about people being in a long and adding to the position and having a liquidation price down here, thinking that they will not get liquidated. So yeah, it's important, guys. It's super important. Those messages always come when we have a volatile move. I got messages here. I got messages on the major liquidation event from the 10th of October. You always have those bad stories at these events. So let's just imagine that, what if the price nukes down from here, down sub 60k in the next 2 days? Right? Then obviously you should not be in a long position if that event does happen. You lose 65k, you need to be out of the market regarding longs. Muy importante, muy importante. Vamos. If you don't understand that, I cannot help you anymore. So, what else do we have here regarding, the impulse down? Naturally, you have the 4-5 choppiness that could happen in this zone. Why is this zone acceptable for this 4-5 fake outs, liquidity grab from this low, very aggressively this low over here at 62.5k? Why could this happen here? Because you got some major lows to sweep up, and you got the support of the value area low of this entire trading zone for the fake outs. So yeah, this is an awesome zone to get the exhaustion and the 4-5s throughout the next coming days. It's a really nice area. So let's go strategy by strategy here, right? Let's talk about the setups as we discuss the different scenarios. Remember, always understanding that we are prioritizing 60k to be hit in the future. Will it be tomorrow? Will it be in 2 weeks? Will it be in 2 months? Right? That is the question. But the bias is bearish to take out $60,000. There's nothing bullish about this movement down, despite looking for internal bounces for the next coming days. The bias is bearish on the higher time frame. Okay, super important to understand. These are intraday entry setups looking for potential local bounces. Okay, it's super important to understand that, guys. So let's go here through the 4-5 scenarios and how that could develop, right? How that could develop, looking at the zooming in on the 1 hour time frame. And let's mark that, you know, only major liquidity grab here in this zone. We might have a tiny little order block. Yeah, no order blocks on the daily, maybe the 4 hourly in this zone. Yeah, nothing really here. Nothing really too major as confluence, guys. I think, you know, keeping it clear on the higher time frame, you know, you lose value area low and you lose that low. You only have two major zones where you could get that reaction liquidity grab and then a move up, which brings the setup strategy here. The only two major pivots for an SFB is this one and this one. And that's talking about the strategy of a 1 2 1 2 3 4 5, right? You might get the SFB here, but then ultimately you create one more low and you just shake out, you know, all of the people that have been attempting longs here. Okay, so zooming in here for this scenario. Naturally, what needs to be seen on this move down, 1 2, yeah, very shallow 2 here, but 1 2. Very small 1 2s here, potentially 1 2, another 1 2 right there. Yeah, you know, the thing is, I'm concerned about this being the wave 3 already finished, right? You got a bit of 1 2s right there, boom boom, the 3, and a bit of a grinding structure down here for the 4 5s just to finish this local move down. So overall, if we are looking for the 1 and 2, and that's your third wave, your fourth waves need to extend here a little bit. They should be able to extend. Let's take a look at Fibonacci time. From the wave 2 here. Yeah, easily from here to here. At least by tomorrow, I would say, for that wave 4. Tomorrow, Friday. So it wouldn't make too much sense to nuke down from here. If not, you know, if we nuke down from here, we're literally still developing the wave 3, right? You know, we always need to be aware of the breakdown here. Yeah. So Andy, you don't believe me? I'm in Palma de Mallorca right now. Come visit me inside by Meliá, Calvia Beach. Then why not? Why not? I'll ask for you. Distance music. Is distance music around? Meliá, Calvia Beach. Right. So anyway, going through this, this if you know, this wave 4 should really extend a little bit longer in time. If we are going to be creating a 4-5, right, you might get that SFP here, but ultimately you could be getting one more push down before you do get that bigger bounce. If we are going to be forming 4-5s throughout the next coming days, that's coming with the idea that you have 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4 5. Going to take a few days to develop, but the wave 4 here should range. And you know, I don't know if this is going to happen, but I know my long-in zones, right? That's the thing. I know where I want to attempt a long position. You know, let's say that this forms a higher low and then absolutely pumps. Well, then, you know, no long, right? The long is down here. If we do get that movement down to the lows, then the long execution is on the SFP. Okay, so it's just generally an idea that could happen. And if we were to drop now from here very aggressively, I would say this is extremely shallow, very short in time to consider the higher time frame wave 4. So a flat would be an option as well, even better, because then you form the 5th wave later on, still providing that potential long opportunity at the SFP here, or an SFP from this low. I would prefer a little bit of a, you know, if we were to come down here, a little wick down here, and then trigger the long stop loss, targeting lower highs for the flat, right? Regular flat or expanding flat, which is the most common. So yeah, I mean, rolling down from here, I wouldn't be too fearful on this execution. Okay, the plan is simple, the risk management is simple. You know, it's looking for either the double bottom or the SFP down here, and you always execute it on the reaction bounce, and stop loss always goes beneath the wick low, always beneath the wick low. Sometimes it's a pity that the wick is a little bit too extended, but it is what it is. But you're long in the bounce, you're not long in the drop. If you lose the level, there's no long. You're long on the bounce. You know, this is super important as well, because I see some cheeky traders out there that try to catch the ultimate low. I used to do that before, but it wasn't, you know, sometimes it was good, sometimes it was bad, because you end up getting trapped in the short, not knowing where to put the stop loss. I've been there before, guys. I've done all the different type of trades you can imagine, and that's bad practice. Where you long on an SFP is on the bounce while you're bouncing, not on the movement down. Because, you know, the problem of trying to catch the lowest price is that you might cross through, and you know, you don't know where to put a stop loss. You know, generally you don't have a stop loss in, right? And this is what could have happened to a few people in this zone, right? Where you are longing, you're losing the levels, and you're still longing, you're not reclaiming levels, and you're trapped. This is where people that are looking for longs and attempting longs with no, you know, reclaim of support or anything, they get trapped and they get burnt and they get hurt. And you know, I try to teach this every single day on the live streams. I mean, if we were to get that SFP, if we were to get that trade, you know, I'm very cautious with the trades, guys. Then we will execute it live, right? But if you lose that level, the longs are not taken on the move down, guys. It's super important. I know it's difficult, but that's the devil. You got an angel and a devil always when you're trading. You always have it. They never go. The devil never goes. You just need to fight it. You need to know how to approach the devil in your mind. The demon never goes. He's always there. He's always saying, you know, come on, get in, be aggressive. Scared money, don't make money, right? Get in the long and add to the long. No stop loss. Screw the stop loss. Add to the position, man. If not, you ain't going to make money. And yeah, then you have this problem, right? If you're in the wrong side of the market, you get wrecked, right? Let's say for anybody that has practiced that bad risk management. So here it is simple. It's only that We get down to the SFP level. That's the higher low from the 29th of March, sorry, at 65k, 64.9 to be more exact. You lose that level, I'm not going to be in a long position. No way. We come down here and we lose it, I'm not longing. We reclaim that SFP level. 15-minute candle close or 1 minute wick, it doesn't matter. You know, I need the price to get back above the level, regardless if it's a wick or if it's you know, if you're looking for a 15-minute candle close, you could already close up here, right? You know, the reactions can be very, very quick. So I prefer getting into the 1 minute time frame, looking at the candle, boom, boom, back above, and that's it. And the stop loss is behind the low, because I'm getting in on the bounce, on the reclaim, because the wick is my stop loss. And these are liquidation events, guys, right? How many people are going to be long right now expecting the bounce, right? With a stop loss at the low, beneath this low over here. So stop hunts are always a good level, right, to enter an SFP. It's just a very, very good, valid SFP, right? So the target zone for this, because I would consider that this pump is a very, very small wave 4, considering that we are looking at the bearish case here of multiple 1-2s, right? We've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, so that has to be 1, 2, and that's another 1, 2. Considering that this is the highest volume move down, this, if we come down today, you know, this is going to be too small for a wave 4. Considering that wave 2s, come on, this did take a few days to develop as a wave 2. This is going to be too small. That means that maybe wave 3 is still on the formation. And if we're going to form a larger wave 4, then I need that reaction at the low, because I would be looking at flat structures, right? I would be looking at flats, which are, you know, they are common for wave 4s. I mean, flat is a relatively common corrective structure. They do happen on and on almost every day. So yeah, flat here on the higher time frame is very much a possibility, which would be sweeping up the local lower highs. Then, you know, this could range throughout today and tomorrow, and then we can start talking about wave 4s being developed here, and then push down. So it is a good long setup to the range highs of today. That's if we were to come down. If we were to come down, it's a good long setup. It's a good long setup. So yeah, that's a little bit, we can't go through all of the waves and scenarios. I mean, this would be the one of the local long setups, looking for a flat. If you break it, no trade, guys, I'm sorry, right? If you break it, you do not get into the trade, period. That's it. And if you try to catch the lowest point, just be aware about where you're going to put your stop loss. Because the reason I can have a stop loss after an SFP is because we faked out from it. And I want that to be the last fake out for the stop loss. And if you're trying to catch the lowest level possible, where is your stop loss? Right? Because if you need a wick for a stop loss, where are you putting your stop loss if you're losing the level? Right? It's that simple, guys. But you just need to, don't be cheeky and try to get the pico bottom of the move. Don't be cheeky. I know you. The demon is saying, get in at the lowest level possible. It's going to SFP. Come on. Screw the demon. You know, listen to the angel, right? Don't listen to the devil. Listen to the angel. He's the one that's going to protect you, not the devil. And the devil never runs away. I still have him every day. He's like, you know, yeah, get into a long, get into a short, you know, just do this, do that. You just don't need to listen to him. Everybody has them. Everybody has them. You watching right now, I know you got a devil and an angel. and the devil's going to be the one that is going to F up your trading. He always does. So be smart and create a plan and follow the plan. Now, and follow the good risk management. Okay, so yeah, not much more that we can say locally for that 4-5, 4-5 or ABC flat, right? And then you roll over. Interesting levels locally for a short. Is it possible that this could be an ABC, right? We push up. We got an interesting fair value gap zone. We would have to go to the 1 hour time frame. There are some, fair value gap pivots right there, which are always interesting for a liquidity grab. This does look like we got a first a push up here. That could be an impulse, shallow pullback, move up, right? We're still downtrending. We could still form 4-5s. We could still form a larger corrective structure here, WXY, right? And then move down for the higher time frame wave 4. It still could be a little bit rangy here. But if we are talking about a trade execution, I know Devil very much. I need to, shout out Devil here from the trading community, because he's been talking about some intraday setups and scenarios. We always do every single day, do the lower time frame analysis. Devil's been absolutely crushing it with the scenario setups and analysis inside of the community. Shout out to you, Devil. I can see you in the comment section right now. Devil with the morning updates, guys. If you are interested in joining the trading community, you know where to find us. It is the first link. Send me the word access into the Telegram, okay? And we will get you inside of the community, okay? Much love. Right. For this scenario, of rejecting in a possible 3-wave move ABC, fair value gaps are always interesting, right? You got a bit of a fair value gap right there, 1 hour big strong candle with high volume, and these high volumes, fair value gaps, the next lower highs can provide a reaction SFP kind of setup, okay? And yeah, this could be a ABC, right? It could push up from this zone and get the reaction at the gap here. So 68k becomes a resistance. It does become a resistance here. And that would be a very, very valid SFP scenario, okay? In my opinion. You break out through the gap. Obviously, you fill the gap. No trade. You react at one of the pivots of the gap, preferably the highest pivot naturally, okay, is the best option usually, right? It is quite rare to hit the first pivot and not hit the second one, right? The first one, sorry, and you just hit the second one. Preferably that this one is hit for that ABC, right? 3-wave structure, failed to break out in a 3rd wave. This would be the most interesting zone to consider a short entry on the reaction. Boom, boom, you hit it, you get beneath it, execution, stop loss. You have good risk management. This can bring you a move down back to the lows, or it can bring you a move down here, and then you just form a sideways, WXY or a double zigzag, right? You just need to take profit on the development of the move down here, right? A TP1 would be that point of control of the entire range. It has to, right? If you do break out in a wave 3, then perfect, you're holding the rest of the position. But we want to talk about short executions and longs as well, right? Not only longs, not only shorts. We talk about longs and shorts here. So naturally after that gap, after this push up, this could be an A wave, this could be a B wave, and a C wave is on the development. If you break out 3rd wave, we need to be patient. We're probably breaking up in an impulse. Then we have to analyze this movement, right? Is it an impulse pullback? Could be the opportunity for longs, right? we look for longs tomorrow if we end up in an impulse. So if we break that zone, then there would be no short entry for me here locally, right? I would just leave the price to develop to see what we got next. It might be on the formation of an impulse. So you can see here that regardless, wherever the price goes in the next coming hours, there is a possible short entry, there is a possible long entry. Okay, the resistance here is the gap, big volume breakdown. The lower highs that follow are usually good reaction levels for a rejection, and at the lows we have a liquidity grab, of course, as well, which is the the higher low here from the 30th of March. Okay, so that's the plan that I do see here. Very, very locally for Bitcoin. Zone of interest for the shorts, zone of interest for the longs. Now it's a matter of having a, of waiting basically. Now it's a matter of waiting to see what happens. So very, very choppy, rangy structure here. This does have the possibility of being an impulse, I have to say. This does have a chance of being an impulsive move. And you're creating very, very, very choppy price action here. A bit flaggy, a bit rangy. Let's see if we can talk about something. Previous day point of control is providing the resistance today. Previous day point of control is providing the resistance for Bitcoin throughout today here. The thing is, a long here for a higher low is gonna be challenging, right? When you're so aggressive downtrending, but it does make sense to look for possible bounces, unless we do get an insane amount of bullish CVD divergence, which I have to say we don't. Yesterday we did not have them. Yesterday was bad, was very, very bad to attempt longs on higher lows, right? If you are getting higher highs on CVD and you're trying to get into a higher low in a downtrend, you are not in the right side of the market. But if you have very strong bullish CVD divergence, which is lower lows on the CVD, higher low attempts with an impulse, which can be valid here, is possible, but not with bearish CVD divergence and heavy downtrend, and no impulse up, no major big strong impulse up potential. But now that we got a possibility, you can squeeze a 4-5 in this zone without a doubt. 1, 2, bit of a shallow wave 2 here, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bit of an impulse, bit of choppiness in this range. You got a nice move up here to the this is a move up to the 0.88 Fibonacci right over here. So that is relatively rare for a wave 2 there. So this is looking more corrective, and this does have a good chance of being impulsive. So having a higher low and pushing up here is very much a possibility based on the structure that we have. You got that movement down, choppy chop, get a bit of local bullish market structure change, right? Because this is forming consistent lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, higher high right there. This is a shift locally in market structure with an impulse. So you're starting to get some green lights here for the price to, potentially move up. Impulsive move up, very choppy range, a very, very steep lower high right there, which is rare for a wave 2. We do see wave 2s getting, or the invalidation is that high naturally, but it is rare to get a wave 2 so steep, but we do see them, so it's not an invalidation, it's just rare. Bit of choppy range. And regarding CVD, got impulse, possible corrective structure. CVD is important here. Let's take a look at them one by one. Binance US dollar tether, no major bullish CVDs, unfortunately. No lower lows on the CVD. Binance US dollar tether out in the bin. Binance US dollar, there is some bullish CVD divergence just forming right now as we speak from 65.3. There is some selling pressure coming in here, which is not doing a great job. It's very overlappy. We got some higher lows on price action and lower lows on CVD on Binance US dollar. By the way, guys, if you're interested in using CVD here for free, we got them here with different exchanges, different time frames. You have it for free, guys. There's lots of tools here in the mindpillar.com website. CVD indicator, fear and greed, calculator of trading, analytic indicators, drawdown from all-time high, liquidation map, guys. You got all sorts right over here in mindpillar.com. okay, liquidation heat map, check them out. You got them here to use them for free. Valuable free tools at mindpillar.com, guys, just for you. We like free stuff, don't we? Well, go ahead and check them out. You got them down below. So CVD divergence, we do have a little bit of bullish CVDs here locally. That's interesting. That starts to be looking interesting here for a little bit of a bounce. I mean, the only one that we do have, we don't want bearish CVD locally here, because that will be no bueno, no good. No local bearish CVDs, which is good. No major higher highs, which is good. It is good. It is good. It's bueno. Yeah, there's a chance that Bitcoin can form a higher low here, based on the structure. So we're ticking a few green lights here on the price action here with Bitcoin and the CVD. This is what you want to see. Now, of course, well, does that mean I jump into a long right now, right, and target the local highs? It is looking relatively good. What I want to check here, so the previous day point of control, BlackRock pumps 320 million into Bitcoin, says Sin Games. There is always a Devil and Andy on your shoulder. Yes. Much love, Devil. Devil here. Thanks for joining the stream, Sin Games. BlackRock pumps 320 million into Bitcoin. If you don't trade more than 10x, it's okay. Yeah, 10x, 100x, doesn't matter. The percentage of your capital is what matters, right? Bulls are about to step in. That's why I'm still holding a losing trade underwater, 30%. Just manage risk. Don't hurt yourself if you lose that trade. When is the bottom? I am in a short for a long time. Yeah, awesome if you're in a short. We are at very strong support on the higher time frame. We could not deny that. The strong support is the value area low point of control zone since February, so it's a strong level. Okay, this is where we can have the choppy fest, the dancing zone, right? The general stop for the next 1 to 2 weeks potentially, right? This is hence the 4-5 situation here. We need to talk about what, can the low be in, right? Can the local low be in for a general bounce? But just looking at the lower time frames, it is interesting to see that we are seeing many green lights here for a bounce and a higher low. Okay, that's very, very locally. We do have previous day value area low that would give us some initial support. This movement down does look corrective looking. The movement up does have a chance of being an impulse. Of course, that's if we cannot form a flat here. That would be obviously a bummer, right? A flat and 1 2 1 2, right, 3. However, this flat over here, let's talk about targets of this B wave. If it's hit the 1.618, then it's not very, very common. Yes, that B wave, if this is a expanding flat, the B wave hit the 1.618 extension. That's not too common at all. This does have a chance of being an impulse. This to be a 1 2 1 2, you hit the 0.88. So probabilities, even though we got an aggressive downtrend and you must be shitting your pants because we've just so bearish, there is a chance that we that this could be an impulse, and a local higher low here is there. Starting to see little local bullish CVD divergence, which is good, guys. This is what you want to see when we talk about a potential local reversal to take out these highs. Will taking out those highs be something like this, or will it be something like this, right? And that's what you want to be ready for. If we were to lose the local lows here, where we're getting a little bit of a reaction, you know, there is a chance still of having this as a correction. Local support, where we did get a bounce early this morning, is 66.2k. Previous day value area low, which would be with the golden pocket approximately, right? So interesting right there. If you do get bullish CVDs, there's always a way of you know, because sometimes you create a shallow higher low. I like this price action to be corrective. It just fits nice. Change of local bullish market structure. Okay, you need to start ticking a few things for probabilities here, for a, you know, a bigger local bounce basically. Because you know, if you are going to be bearish here and you think I'm going to short, we're going to go back down to the lows and we're going to go down to 60k, right? You know, then yeah, well, you need to have a strategy. You need to have a stop loss, right? You know, if you want to get into a short, you believe it's bearish and we ain't going to pump here a single bit, then, you know, you just have good risk management, right? Wherever you want to put stop loss, if you're targeting the lows and lower. For me, I would prefer that liquidity grab as explained, which is these lower highs, the fair value gap that we got from the move down of yesterday. I would just prefer this zone because I like the fake outs. I like the entries on the fake outs and stop loss above the fake out entry as we get back beneath this zone. And so yeah, anyway, back to you know, when you ask me about, are we going to reverse? Are we going to, you know, when we're downtrending like this, it's pretty brutal. When you are losing levels, you're just brutally moving down with lower highs and lower lows, bearish CVD divergence on the formation, people trying to long this like crazy, just getting stopped out every single time. Then you get a local bullish market structure change with a possibility of an impulse, and, you know, very, very choppy price action here that can be a correction. The problem of getting, you know, small signs of bullish CVDs, very, very small. Okay, we only got Binance US dollar perpetual here starting to form some slightly lower lows. We've gotten some shorts entering here throughout the last few hours, right? Not much on the other exchanges. This could change if we were to form local bullish CVDs, bearish CVDs, which we kind of doing here. I mean, well, local lows have been tested. We don't want massive higher highs here and lower highs on the price action. So this needs to stay pretty steady. We don't want this like yesterday on Bybit, you know, huge spikes, longs like crazy, and then lower highs and higher highs on CBD. That's going to be a bad sign. For the moment, we don't have it, so that's looking okay. Matter of fact, we've got bullish CBDs, which is good. So, let's take a look here at VWAP. Well, VWAP's just been reset. We're kind of trying to hold the VWAP here. So when we tick the green boxes, you got a local market structure change, you got a possibility of an impulse, and you got a possibility of a correction here. However, we're just hitting the 382 Fibonacci from low to high. It is shallow, but we are lately forming shallow pullbacks. So we can bounce from this zone, but you know, usually we do prefer 50% to the 7/8 Fibonacci. You know, it's much better to get a better entry because, you know, generally your stop loss is the low and you are targeting the high. So, you know, this is not a great risk to reward trade, unfortunately. It's not good. It's not great. Right? So, you know, there's two options here. You enter a very small position. You take out, you move down and you get a reaction at the golden pocket, which is where the previous day point of control is. And you can maybe add to that position ever so slightly, right? Enter with 0.5, add another 0.5, and then you're targeting the highs. This has a possibility of breaking out. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it reacts at the highs and it rolls over, but you are taking profits. You are protecting position. And if it rolls down, you know, we might jump into a short position here. If it breaks out, then happy days. Then, oh, I was not expecting that. We got a reversal. Well, you entered, right? With a good risk. And it's only ticking the boxes here. You know, this is, you know, at the end of the day, technical analysis is just looking at, you know, different possibilities on the chart with the help of CBD as well. And, you know, when you're in a downtrend, you're forming lower lows and lower highs. You understand that this is a little local change of market structure. You understand that this can be an impulse. You understand that this is looking choppy and corrective, especially with this very, very small lower high. You know, well, obviously the interest zone is in between the 382 and the 7/8 Fibonacci, and you always need to manage risk, of course. You know, at the end of the day, we are downtrending. You know, the good thing about getting into the possible reversal stages is that, you know, detecting the first wave 1 and 2, let's give or take, is very, very complex, right? When you are uptrending like crazy, people were calling for 90k here. We were very much getting ready for this to be the top. Okay, this was back at the first week of May. We were very, very ready for this to be the end stages, right? We were counting the waves. We were counting the, you know, this could very much be the end here at 82k from the rally that we got from the 1st, 2nd of April, right? They're at 65k low. So, but yeah, it's either detecting the possible low or detecting the first 1-2s before you get the bigger push up, which is very, very hard, right? When you try and detect the first wave 1 and 2, which is not, you know, yeah, it is difficult, right? Because you already want to be in the bigger moves, right? You already want to be positioned in the 1-2s for the wave 3, right? That's the wave 3 is where you're going to profit from, right? If that is the wave 3, and this is not the wave 3, right? But regardless, you want to get into the 1-2s, right? The beginning stages of the reversal. And you can have 1 attempt or 2 attempts, because when it does happen, let's just imagine that this is a first 1-2, right? And you get another 1 and 2, and then you break out in a wave 3, right? It's nice to be in this price action, right? And where you need to get in is trying to detect the wave 1 and 2, right? Because you don't want to be very, very bullish, right? When you've already, had a major impulse, right? You're getting exhausted. All of the volumes here, the biggest move is here. You want to start, looking for reversal signs when you've already had the big move. Hence the idea here of on the higher time frame, looking for that liquidity grab from 65k, right? This has been the most brutal move down with high volume. I need to understand, based on the probabilities, that this is a zone that can hold. This is the zone that can SFP. This is the zone that can form the 4-5s and create the choppiness, because the move with the highest volume, the most brutal move has happened here, right? Now I need to always understand, at least the good thing about this is that we have value area low and the point of control, something that we did not have with this capitulation, right? This was a huge, massive also capitulation, right? We managed to be short on this price action, managed to be in a epic short in this price action from not only the highs but adding a little bit to the position back in late January, February. But the problem here is we didn't have much. We didn't have much, unfortunately. We did have this, but we were already losing. We didn't have much support. Obviously down here at the point of control, but in this drop here, when you lose, these lows and you're coming down here, we didn't have much. You got point of control right there being lost. You got the reaction here, but overall here, there's really not much of support. And here, at least for the moment, with this drop, we do have some support here. Well, yeah, we just need to be aware of eventually breaking down, right? But still, the main higher time frame potential bounce, unless you're getting into the local 1-2s, is really getting into a good entry at an SFP, right? Regardless if it's the weekly level, which we did get a reaction, that's already a good entry below 66k, or the value area low. Even the value area low of this trading zone was tapped. Got under the value area low by $100. These are very difficult catches, I have to say, right? If you want to get a catch of an SFP or a value area low, obviously this becomes a more interesting level. But that means as well that remaining patient here, or if you did get into a late long in this zone, you don't want to be too aggressive, understanding that we could just get down to the low. For me, for a local short entry, I would prefer a little bounce to 67.8k, which is the fair value gap lower highs. I would prefer a short from here, attempt right on the reaction. But zooming out, naturally the best level, if you didn't get in on a weekly or so, the best level would be this one, really. It's just a great fake out zone. with the value area low still providing support. And because there's been a big move happening here in the last 2 days, what are the probabilities, right, of brutally breaking down here and just capitulating? That, you know, considering Elliott wave theory and the volume and everything, you know, they are lower than actually getting a little range. But I mean, this is Bitcoin, right? You just need a, you know, maybe the wave 3 is still getting developed here. You got multiple 1-2s, and then bang, and wave 3 just continues to the downside here very aggressively, with no local bounces. But when we talk about the setups, you know, the setups are at the zones where they need to be. So I mean, this would be a very, very good trading plan to execute a trade. And for shorts, you know, for me, we would have to get a little bit of a bigger bounce for me to get into that short. We have been getting rejected today at the previous day point of control. Previous day point of control is what's acting as resistance today here. So when you consider, you know, these point of controls as an entry, you need to give a bit of room for stop loss, right? Because we know that the reaction is there. So just going through the, like, a little bit of education here as well, because you might think, you know, why not short, right, a lower high at a level of resistance, which is the previous day point of control. You can see you tap it here, you tap it again, right, on the 5-minute, 15-minute, you know, you wick it above, and then you move down. You just need to be aware that that does happen. You have some breakout attempts, right? So if you are fearful in getting into a, you know, short trade based on, you know, losing it, right, or having a very tight stop loss, you know, generally speaking, you'd have to give a little bit of room based on fake outs. That's if you're targeting the low, right, in a downtrend. If you're getting at a level of resistance, you can see, look how many times we have attempted to break out above the point of control today, previous day point of control, that is. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, 5, 6, 7 on the 15-minute, right? So generally speaking, you need to give it a bit of room, basically. You need to give it a little bit of room here if you are attempting a lower high, because, you know, you can't enter a trade and have an extremely small stop loss like this, right? Because you're going to get wicked out. You know, getting a 10-to-1 risk reward is very, very difficult in trading. Staying realistically, we're looking for 2, 3-to-1, 4, 5-to-1, right, if we do get a good SFP. But yeah, generally speaking, for these kind of setups, you just need to give a little bit of room. And of course, if you break that point of control, I mean, not even that wide, give or take halfway to the highs, I wouldn't put a stop loss here. If you break that point of control and get continuation, you know, you just don't want to have a stop loss much higher. But look at the fake outs. The fake outs are massive, right? You know that you need to give it a bit of room for the stop loss if you're executing a trade at a point of control. This is just to understand that sometimes you're going to get that fake out, right? And yeah, this would be interesting here for the previous day value area low, because previous day value area low can be a little bit yeah, it is on Coinbase and it is on Binance. Let me just double check here. Yeah, also on Binance. Yeah, previous day value area low is interesting. If we were to get one more little push down here into the golden pocket, previous day value area low, and you're holding this area and we do get some interesting bullish CVDs, which we're already seeing throughout Binance. We're getting bullish CVDs finally on the movement down. We're getting a bit of a scary move down here and holding that previous day value area low. I would consider that as a solid entry. Bullish CVDs, you're moving down into the value area low, and if we do hold on that zone, it could be a possible attempt. If you get some reactions here, you're building short positions, and this is data, guys. I mean, yeah, unfortunately we're not getting some on the rest of exchanges. Bybit US dollar tether is going to be almost forming bullish CVDs. That could change in a matter of minutes. So if we do get bullish CVDs on Bybit and on Binance at the same time, it's going to be looking interesting to take out the local highs. Previous day value area low. Let's see if we move down and get a reaction. If it loses the level, if it loses previous day value area low, not going to be looking great. A bit of fake outs, a bit of pushes. That's going to be interesting. You want to see it get a reaction. Previous day value area low, golden pocket, get a bit of a reaction, hold on, still continue with the lower lows on the CVD, and as you hold on, that's going to be a good sign. If you're holding, it's a good sign. If you just cross through, nah, not good. Holding the level is going to be interesting here. Right, let's go through the comment section. We need to cover the other scenarios. Great little bounce on the Nasdaq. We need to do a little bit of more stock market, I think, as well on the streams. Beautiful bounce from the previous day value area low on the Nasdaq, and we formed a little bit of a swing failure pattern on the S&P 500. Previous day value area low. Beautiful reaction on Nasdaq here for a long attempt. Just talked at the beginning of the stream, we were just coming into that level, and there's nothing bearish about the indices, guys. Nasdaq, S&P 500, they're extremely bullish. Any pullback seems like an opportunity here throughout the last few weeks. So yeah, you're coming down into support. Previous day value area low, beautiful reaction, and ES actually swept the lows. Not getting the best bounce. NQ is doing a little bit better than the S&P 500, but still great SFP of these lows on the stock market for a very, snipey entry kind of setup. Anyway, let's go through the other Elliott Wave scenarios, because there is a lot, guys. This is going to be a long stream, but this is why we're here. We are here for the long stream. Nothing to say on Nasdaq and ES, guys. I do think when you are in such a heavy uptrend, every pullback into support is an opportunity. Where to all-time high, right? If it's all-time high after all-time high, your long support, where to? All-time high, right? In simple terms, that would be it. Bitcoin. We need to talk about Bitcoin. We got many different things to talk about. I mean, locally it looks interesting. Let's see if we do get that reaction at the previous day value area low. Get some bullish CVDs. We at least got a local market structure change. I mean, worst case scenario is that this is a flat with an expanding B wave in the flat, which is, and then 1 2 1 2 1 2, and then you break down in a wave 3. I mean, the general momentum to the downside is bearish, so we cannot fight that. But it does have a chance. Let's see how we support ourselves here on Bitcoin. at the previous day value area low and the golden pocket. Bullish CVD divergence are building, and that's just data, guys. It's not me, because there is bullish CVDs. It's data that is shown. So so Bitcoin does have a slight chance here to hold on a higher low. If you would have asked me yesterday, I had no long interest on the movement down. I was interested in longs, but not executing any long position. But if you would have asked me, are there any longs here as losing support with aggressive lower lows and lower highs with bearish CVDs? No, there is not. Well, this one could be interesting, right? Let's see if we can shit our pants here a little bit, because when you shit your pants, that's when the best trade is available, right? Well, so let's see if we do shit our pants here with this movement down, and then maybe it'll be time to take that long setup. Right, let's go through the higher time frame. And talk about the so yeah, let's go let's go through. It might not lose it on the first attempt. Let's see, what's that? There's no bullish CVD. Yeah, there is. I mean, it depends on what exchange. We don't have many. It depends on what exchange. Binance, US, Bybit. Depends on what exchange, okay? So, yeah. Paz María Vallejos. Good day and good luck, Machu Picchu. Much love to you. Thanks everyone for joining. Smash up the like button. Make it pump, guys. Liquidation level at $86,000. Yeah, I mean, $86,000. Yeah, the liquidity up there. I mean, even more at 86, but we're very, very far away. We need some bullish market structure. We are heavily downtrending, but the liquidity to the upside is without a doubt looking intense, right? There's some intense liquidity to the upside, but there's still plenty of liquidity to the downside. So, there's still lots of liquidity below 65K. What can we say? Anyway, let's go through the other Elliott wave scenarios. Let's see how this drop does develop on Bitcoin and see if it does hold on here, the golden pocket range. Because if it does not hold the golden pocket range and it just continues going lower very aggressively, if it does hold here throughout the next hour, I will be happy to attempt the long position here. You don't need to rush into a long position, because I'm very much aware of the downtrend. And if we lose the level, holding it is going to be the idea. Okay, very important to hold this zone and fail a wave 3, right? Because you got the bearish case would be 1, 2, multiple 1, 2s, and bang, wave 3, right? And it just forms an impulse down. So you need right now this wave 3 to fail. How does it fail? Well, doing this. That's how it fails. That's when okay, we can bounce now. If you cross it through like this, there's no rush into getting into the long here. You need to hold the support, hold the previous day value area low. If it doesn't, it's a wave 3, right? You're breaking down. So let's see. Naturally,
the best short entry would have been the previous day point of control. Previous day point of control would have been the best option here for the short, right? As resistance, if we talk about confluence and resistance, previous day point of control would have been the best option with a little bit of room for stop loss. So let's see if we do get a few dancers here. If we do get a few dancers, it's going to be looking very good for the bounce. Okay, perfection is what I like. This is such an amazing community, says Bath Maria Vallejos. Much love to you, Bath Maria Vallejos. Let's go. Right, we've got lots of work here to do still on the higher time frame. Just getting distracted with the lower time frame. I want to give a bit of explanation here on the higher time frame scenarios, which is this downtrend. Does this have a possibility to finish? To have something finished in an expanding fifth wave. I mean, expanding fifth waves are rare when we talk about Elliott wave theory. They're not impossible. We do see them. That comes with euphoria or with mass fear, is when you do form the expanding fifth waves. So right over here, when we talk about expanding fifth waves, the only count that I would say we have is this right over here. And something curious about this, people that don't do Elliott wave theory are gonna would shoot me. They're like, oh man, here we go with this Elliott wave theory again. Expanding wave fives are rare. I mean, this would be the only way that I can fit it, where you have a 1, 2, another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be your third wave, as you do have 5 waves here. And the problem is here is a little bit of this scenario where you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5, which is also an expanding fifth wave on its own. So it's this wave been expanding and the fifth wave of the fifth wave been expanding also, right? With a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is curious about this, guys, is do you know what is the target of an expanding fifth wave? Let me know in the comment section. What is, whoever knows about Elliott wave theory and Fibonacci, let me know. I do know it. What is the target of an expanding fifth wave in Elliott wave theory, guys? And where do you take your Fibonacci's from? I know it. Let me know if anybody knows that. As we do get that answer, I'll probably get some comments saying, who gives a damn? Who gives a shit? Yeah, let me know anyway. I'm curious. They're just rules and guidelines, of course, because we're literally at the expanding fifth wave target. Just out of curiosity, we are literally there. Let me know in the comment section as we smash up the like button, and we'll get back to this theory, right, and get to the analysis here, and try and come up with the ideas of what could be developed. Anyway, let me just have a drink of water. Let's get that like button to 200 likes, guys. Absolutely amazing to have over 300 people watching. Let's get that like button to 200, and we'll cover this scenario right away. And let me know the targets, guys, of an expanding fifth wave of Elliott wave theory. Fibonacci, what's the target? Right, I'm going to go through the comment section. We can even do a quiz here, which is absolutely awesome. Let's take a look at that. Okay, let's take a look at the comment section. about that. The 0.88, no, it is not. No, it is not. 2.618. It is not the 2.618. 1.3. Or one in three. Right, fib from wick to wick. 1 of 2.618. 2x wave 1. Interesting. Target is the 1-to-1. No, it is not. Lifa Tifa. 2.618. 600 max liquidation level is the target. Right, okay, anyway, never mind. End of wave 1 to end of wave 4. 1-to-1. RVM3 almost. It's actually the 1.618 from wave 1. Okay. It is actually this, legends. Fibonacci extension from the start of your wave 1 to the end of your wave 3 to the end of your wave 4. The target zone for an expanding fifth wave is the 1.618. Counting, you can Google this, guys. This is not made up. It's on the textbook. It's an Elliott wave principle. 1, 2, 3, Fibonacci extension from the start of 1 to the end of 3 to the end of 4. The common target for your fifth wave is the 1.618 extension from 1, 2, 3 combined and 4. And, you know, interestingly enough, we exactly bounced today at that 1.618 extension, which makes you think, could it be that this is a 5-wave move down with an expanding fifth wave? Holy smokes, you know, when you do combine the target area, holy smokes, we exactly hit the 1.618, right? Which is interesting. You can Google that, guys. We can Google it and I can show you right away. You can chat GPT it, right? What is the wave 5 target of an expanding fifth wave? What is the fib target? So, I mean, this is very bullish, wishful thinking, okay? Oh yeah, we're getting a little bit of a local reaction here on the lower time frame. I like the dance. It's previous day, value area low. You know, it is reacting here a little bit. Wave 3 is not pushing down. If this wants to be bearish, wave 3 should push down. Bit aggressivo. Someone said that we slightly front runned the golden pocket. Previous day value area low. Also a little bit of a front run. We didn't quite tap the previous day value area low. Getting into this mini order block as well. I mean, we got a little order block here on the, is it 15 minute? 15 minute, 30 minute. A little bit of an order block reaction there. We've got a 30-minute order block, which is reacting. Yeah. Kind of wants to. Right. Let's talk about the expanding fifth wave scenario here. I mean, that is, something that is interesting. Just because we have insane support here it's something that really bothers, something, especially if you do elite wave theory as myself, that we are coming into very strong higher time frame support zone where, it regardless, it just becomes so interesting to attempt SFP levels either at weekly level, which we did already, right, or the value area low, and or the SFP right there, right, regardless if internally you are going to form another 4-5 or not. Internally, right, not the higher time frame bearish case scenario that we discussed before this one, which is having a higher time frame 4-5 where you have 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4 5. They could be a little bit more aggressive throughout the next coming days. But talking about this scenario internally on the 15-minute time frame, right, you could be forming a local 4-5s, right, and then get the bigger bounce in the next coming days, which makes it attractive for the SFPs, right? Either value area low, which we did already today and got the bounce of $2,000, or this higher low right over here. I mean, this does look pretty interesting for an SFP. I mean, the problem is, will we get it, right? Will we get it? Sometimes we wait for a solid SFP level, right, and you either break it and there's no trade, or you front run it for a bit, right? Sometimes we just need to be patient to see if we do get it, right? Whoever longed the value area low as an SFP or the weekly level, which was slightly higher, sometimes you just need to go in with what you're comfortable to lose, right, with a stop loss at the low, right, and re-enter the trade if you get the SFP. I know it's hard, guys, with this price action, but for me it's more interesting looking for longs at the moment than looking for shorts. The big move happened, okay, shorts would have been interesting here, or interesting here, right, or any lower highs before the big drop, okay. I just, longs are looking more interesting. This shorts were looking more interesting here, guys. We only talked about shorts and the top of this being a fifth wave. Understanding the probabilities of multiple 1-2s here is just very, very low. Massive 1-2, steep 1-2. We discussed this back in April, end of April, where we were only looking for shorts mainly here. Throughout the last week of April, first week of May, right? Looking at the end stages, swing shorts are looking attractive, and I got a lot of hate on that. Got a lot of hate of trying to detect the end of the impulse back in, the first week of May with the crazy hair here. Got a lot of hate on this. We're bullish, we're going to 90k, what are you doing? We missed the low, it's the bear market low is in. Lots of we do these polls to talk about the bear market low, right, being in, and there was about 30% of people saying that the low was in, right, and that we missed the move, and we're just getting ready to do the counts here on there's a very, very good chance that we're coming to peak out here on this momentum to the upside, obviously considering the higher time frame move as well, right? This structure over here, right? Very much aware of this does look like we're coming to the end of an impulse. Strongest move here, end stages here at 82, 83k, right? One more high or not, so be it. But the end of the impulse up. And I got a lot of hate here looking for shorts. People are like, what are you doing? We're going to the moon. This is Bitcoin, right? We're going to go to much higher prices. 90k next. You missed the boat. I was in a long already here in this zone. I actually took all of the profits at 80k. I got wicked out as I added to the position, but a lot of hate here because we were discussing of short positions back in the first week of May. And I'm sorry to say that we are at support and looking for longs at, detecting SFP levels in this zone is what I need to do, right? It's just, right? Even though I have to acknowledge that taking out 60k has priority, okay? This, of course, had a very, very good chance to be an ABC, bear market relief rally. And it is true that the market is looking bearish and the bias on the higher time frame is to take out that 60k, guys, just so you are aware that longs become dangerous. They become, you're literally looking for relief pumps at this point. Okay, you're speculating on relief rallies. Are they going to be big? Are they going to be small? Are they going to be massive? Right? Because the overall speculation here is, maybe a correction and then down, or maybe continuation in the wave 3 here, right? Wave 3 is maybe getting developed. You got your 1-2s here on the daily time frame. This still looks pretty damn aggressive. Maybe wave 3 extends to the 2.6 and then you form 4-5s here, right? The 1-2s, wave 3 is still getting developed. Just so you are aware that the bias is to take out 60k. And what we are speculating here is on relief pumps. And I would rather want to see a bigger relief pump for swing trades, basically, right? Would be nice to get after finishing 4-5, if that is the case here, or you SFP from the lows. It's I want to see some kind of a 3-wave, try and detect the C wave here locally on the 15-minute, maybe test value area high. We don't know, but look at this for swing shorts, because I would prefer to speculate on this being a wave 1, wave 2, and then we break down big, sub 60k later on a wave 3, right? I mean, this would be the ideal short, but will we get that bounce or not? Well, hopefully we will in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully we will get some relief rally before hitting $60,000, sub 60k, right? To either add to existing shorts or get into a new swing short position, right? So, and this is where it could happen, right? This is where it could happen. Why could it happen here? Well, value area low, liquidity grab, 65k. The biggest move has technically developed in the last 2 days. When we consider Elliott wave theory, after developing the biggest move, you usually slow down, right? So slowing down is an option here, right? It's all theory, right? Regardless if it just nukes down, then we just have to acknowledge that the wave 3 is not finished. It's just a brutal extension. And this is why looking for longs, yes, we at support, you need to manage risk very, very well, guys. We lose this low over here, and don't worry, I will not be looking, I will not be in a long position if you lose 65k, unless you SFP it, right? Which is getting the price action back above the level. Okay, so risk management here is muy importante. Muy importante. So, yeah, not much more that we can discuss about Bitcoin really here. I mean, there's the other scenario, which is the other scenario, which is a corrective structure, but corrective structure from the highs. I mean, with this brutal move down, can we figure out a 3-wave corrective structure here And I mean, yeah, we can, because there's just a lot of overlap in this region, and there is a way of finding just an a WXY, I would say, or an ABC, but you could fit in a 3-wave structure here, either here and a sideways correction and another 3-wave down, or 5-wave down correction, 5-wave down. You would be missing that 4-5 here, really. But if we take a look at the extensions, so either in a WXY or an ABC, it doesn't really matter. There is a possibility of a 5-wave down, boom, boom. C-wave, this one would require one more sideways, bit of a wave 4 here, and then a wave 5. You're kind of missing a 4 and 5 here. This move down would be too quick, so this is why a flat here is interesting, and then the move down. But yeah, taking into consideration the extension, ABC, this is a bit overextended, almost hitting the 1.618. I kind of prefer the WXY, which would be a zigzag down, sideways correction in X, or a running flat, even though B wave is a bit extended, and then the zigzag down. So it would be 3-wave down here, 3-wave move, sideways correction, 3-wave very steep here, and it's still a little bit overextended. Yeah, you're well overextended here as well. Yeah, an ABC kind of fits a little bit better. Yeah, it doesn't look great for this to be corrective. The formation of an impulse it looks better, either if you get the 4-5s or you have an extended wave 5 as explained, which would be this scenario over here, right? Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5. Yeah, just because you have the strong volume here, an impulse does fit better, because on the corrections, regardless of an ABC or a WXY, your C wave or your Y wave, it's a bit overextended when we consider Fibonacci targets, okay? WXY hitting the 2-to-1, and the ABC hitting almost the 1.618 extension, which is a little bit too far away for a C wave. So yeah, it does look better for an impulse, still unfinished, or wave 5 coming to the end stages, extended wave 5 coming to the end stages if not finished already, and good support, which is this zone over here. I mean, to be honest, this is the most crucial zone to hold here for Bitcoin and reclaim in the next coming days. You lose this area and it's not going to be a pretty picture. I think we could be coming down relatively fast. Just capitulate, right? We get bad news and price just capitulates down to get sub 60. But there is a plan below sub 60. Regardless if we get it in the coming days or in the coming months, you know, which has priority at the moment. It had priority even up here, guys. The priority to get sub 60k. We did a collaboration with Mattia, Devil, myself. We were all talking about 60k on the higher time frame, right? We don't know how the correction is going to develop. Do we have an ABC 1, 2? Are we still in the impulse? Do we get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or you know, or do we extend the correction and then move down, right? Overall the bias was, you know, we likely going to come down to $60,000 in the near future. So, and there is a plan, of course, regarding spot. You know, regarding leverage trading, I have no plan here eventually in the short term as we lose 60k, but I will just be ready to start DCAing in I'm going to start transferring funds to exchanges to start buying Bitcoin for the next coming years if we get below 60k, right? That's when there's a good DCA zone, without a doubt. So, great stream. Sweet Vamos, thank you so much, my man. 4 hour and daily are oversold. Yeah, maybe RSI, very likely. We can see some oversold on 4 hourly, maybe 1 hourly. Well, maybe not 1 hour. We all shorted on your advice. Yeah, from 82k. Yeah, I mean, this was very much a shorting zone. This was all very, very much a valid shorting area. We were discussing this. A swing short was discussed that could take many weeks to develop, right? To roll over, literally, right? Impulse down 1, 2, 3. We don't know, but this to be an ABC was something that we were discussing back in the day, right? Ending an impulse in April at the 82, 83k zone. You know, we're looking for the end of a finished impulse. And obviously, when you connect the structure with this price action, then ABC, right, bullish scenario was a double 1-2 or a diagonal, which, you know, overall this was likely a topping zone, right, back in the first week of May. Let's go a little bit through the comment section. Let's take a look at the stock market. Getting a bit of a pullback here again. So the problem is with the stock market, the Nasdaq, S&P 500 indices. The problem is the correlation that it has to the downside. I mean, unfortunately, for our spot bags, Bitcoin hasn't had great correlation, right, the last few weeks to the upside, right? Throughout May, end of May, right, beginning of June, the stock market has been ripping, right, indices, and the correlation to the upside is not massive. But I know that the correlation to the downside is it's stronger. Okay, so if the stock market decides to get the indices, right, decide to get a bigger pullback, that it's not great for Bitcoin, right? So sub 60k would be even more highly likely to happen sooner if indices want to get a pullback. So correlation to the upside lately hasn't been great, but to the downside, it's always there's always correlation to the downside. So if we get a massive correction, say in the coming days or next week, it's not going to help Bitcoin to get a rally, right, or a bounce. It's just like that, right? So somebody asked about gold earlier. Yeah, gold is in a very interesting zone at the moment. Gold is in a very interesting area right now, and I would be happy to attempt a long setup here on gold, because we did discuss a little bit of an SFP from this higher low yesterday, and I would be happy to look for a long. We are reacting very nicely here. Just get the fixed volume profile on gold. You know, too much volume. We just got this slight volume here. But what's nice about gold is that you have the little bounce. You know, you're kind of downtrending, you get a little bounce, and then you get a push up here. This is a very nice impulsive move attempt, and now you got this move down, bounce. This move does look very three wavy on gold, right? So you got this choppiness and this move down, which should have been your third wave, right, if we do consider an impulse down. So you get the 1-2s and then this, the breakdown. You want this breakdown to get follow through, right, and get the 4-5 later on to form an impulse. However, this push down that we got on gold, this was on Monday, got an instant reaction bounce getting above the lower highs, making this a high probability 3-wave move. So WXY double zigzag here could be very much what is on the formation. We're literally at the golden pocket trying to hold. And when we do zoom out slightly here on the 4 hourly time frame on gold, where we've been reacting on last Thursday is at the golden pocket as well. And this momentum is looking very, very corrective. Very sideways, not much steam. Golden pocket, great reaction bounce from the pump that we had here in March, April. Sideways, boom, boom, very slow. This is the 4 hour time frame. And now this local pump does look impulsive, and this does look corrective. So, could we be getting to the end stages, right? Which is just, literally a bullish pennant, a bullish, channel from this automatic rally, which, could be coming to the end stages here after this 3-wave move down. You got a local impulse. I mean, obviously what's a bummer here is that you could have a flat, getting an impulse to the upside. If you can connect a flat here with the previous price action, let's take a look at that B wave target of a flat. I mean, I think we did hit the 1.618. So flat is actually low probability here because the B wave overextended, and because this does look more as an impulse, this choppy does look corrective. So getting a push, kind of a right shoulder speculation here to attempt a breakout to hit 4,580. I mean, this does become a very, very interesting long position on gold, I have to say. Stop at the low, and the projection here could be very, very good for the next coming weeks, because if gold does decide, this is for a bigger move throughout the summer. It's probably going to be a bit of a swing that can take a few weeks naturally to develop. There's no quick movements here. It might take a week, it might take 3 days, it might take 2 weeks, but the projection here of this rally, this being corrective, this local move being impulsive, having an inverted head and shoulder situation, overall looking at this to be a correction. I mean, the target zone would be this high. The problem is, do we blast off from here, or do we hit the highs and obviously get a bit of an SFP? But I think there's a very, very good, solid risk reward, great risk management, and we've got, I would say we have 2 attempts here, 2 attempts on this gold trade. The target zone is going to be 4,875 throughout the summer. Will it be end of June? Will it be second week of June? Will it be first week of July? But overall, the risk management and the setup here is what's most important on gold. I think there is a valid long setup here. Stop loss has to be the low, and the target would be the highs here, maybe a little bit higher, but overall, at least the highs as a swing. And if this ends up not being the end, because we always want to try and catch the lowest pivot, right? It's always nice to get into a long trade at the low, but I mean, come on, unless you were ready here at the golden pocket from the low to the high, and you said, right, I'm longing and I'm giving a bit of room for stop loss, then you missed it, right? So then the higher low after a potential impulse at the golden pocket zone 7-8 is your option. If this trade fails, there's another entry execution, which would be the SFP of the local lows. That would be option 2. The projection is the same here. the probabilities of this being corrective are very, very nice. They're very, very good. You got the move up. You're hitting golden pocket zone. Yeah, it's good risk management, good setups, and you have 2 attempts. Don't worry about the first stop loss. You know, if this is the one that wants to get the bounce, you know, you're gonna cover your stop loss in a couple of weeks, and obviously make some decent profits. So, yeah, I like this scenario for gold. To be honest, it looks pretty damn good. Did we reject? Yeah, we missed the golden pocket from this move. Steep move down, bounce, golden pocket here. Could be forming a bit of a Gartley pattern here. Golden pocket, yeah, a Gartley or a harmonic could be very much on the cards. Almost got a golden pocket right there, golden pocket right here, and then 7-8 on this push up to maybe then obviously get the fake out, right? Fake out from the highs and get a correction. But about harmonics, golden pocket, it's just a very, very interesting zone to bounce. It looks corrective when we consider Elliott wave theory. I mean, looking at the fixed volume profile, we probably don't have much here on gold, unfortunately. Yeah, highest volume node is above us. Well, kind of there. I mean, we've created a lot of price action in the last few weeks, so I wouldn't be too bothered about the point of control. Mainly, we've created this point of control because of this price action, so it's not a major level. But yeah, value area low. Yeah, kind of value area low of this zone. Not counting this price action, counting from here, not this price action, because that's away from this price action. So value area needs to be taken from this zone. Value area low, yeah, I mean a double bottom or a higher low here is very much a possibility for gold. I really like this projection for the next couple of weeks. It's a very, very valid long, in my opinion. And most importantly about this is the target. Target is the highs. Target is the value area high. You're getting supported at value area low. You got golden pocket here. You got golden pocket here. You got a possible Gartley. Considering Elliott wave theory, this does look more corrective. And most importantly is the risk management, right? How do we execute this trade managing risk? And because we've already hit the golden pocket and we got a reaction bounce, this was last Thursday to Friday, then, you know, you either, you know, get a confirmation impulse, which we kind of do, we kind of have here. I like this. I like this movement up that we got throughout Thursday and Friday. It looks pretty good, generally speaking, for an impulse, right? Where you got the first little price action bounce that looks like a bear flag, right? And very difficult to long here unless you're waiting for the golden pocket, right, on the higher time frame. This is why zooming out, sometimes we just obviously need to take the chance. But yeah, it's a very, very, very acceptable impulse up. And because you've hit the golden pocket with this 3-wave structure, you already got a 3-wave move here and you got an impulse up here. So it's kind of the perfect moment, right? And then if price is going to leave without you, right, then longing eventually later does not become interesting. So when I do consider the risk management and how I can profit from this trade, unless it's a stop loss, you know, 1% to gain, and this is obviously going to take a couple of weeks, you know, 5%. If this does end up getting wicked out, then there is another opportunity here on the reaction of the lows, stop loss at the lows, and the same 5-to-1, even a bit more, 6-to-1 risk reward on this setup here. It's going to take, your stop loss will be rewarded. The stop loss will be rewarded. And remember, you do need a reaction at the low. Obviously, if you're dropping down here, I wouldn't have a major level here on gold to get into a long if we start dropping down very aggressively. Might be a daily level. Yeah, no daily here. You already hit a daily level on Thursday. Yeah, this is where you got the wicks basically, right? The kind of the gaps here. Yeah, it's either going to be on this attempt or on the second attempt. But I think that this is a very, very valid long on gold, and risk management is your best friend. You shouldn't get damaged, right, if the price were to nuke down from here, because you have stop losses, right? And the projection, the analysis, it looks good. Harmonic, very possible. Golden pocket, impulse up, 3-wave down. Lots of green flags here on this trade setup on gold. Okay, lots of green flags for this move up on gold to $4,900, give or take. This is the 4-hourly daily time frame, so it's going to take a couple of weeks to develop, in my opinion. So that's a little bit of what I have here on gold. Okay, just keeping it simple. And more of a swing trade. You can trade gold on bluffing. So check BTC. What's going on with BTC? BTC getting the reaction. Oof, getting, yeah, a little bit low here. Getting choppy. Very, very, let's take a look at the CVD here. Nothing on Bybit. Bybit US dollar tether just almost about to get bullish CVDs. Binance US dollar with bullish CVDs. I mean, this is the shit your pants area, right? Shit your pants area for the bounce. Previous day value area low needs to do the job here, right? The fake out of the previous day value area low. Get that reclaim. Slight bullish CVDs only on Binance mainly. Well, yeah, definitely it does have a chance here. The chance is there for Bitcoin to do something to get a bounce. Previous day value area low needs to do the job. Getting a bit of a tiny reaction, not crossing through, but anyway, let's go through the comment section. Remember, guys, you can trade gold on Bluffin. We got the best deals also on 2bit, guys. Remember that you can trade gold, also indices on 2bit. Okay, if you are interested, you will also get access to the trading community if you sign up throughout one of the affiliate links and do a minimum deposit. Okay, either Bluffin, 2bit. You got weeks as well as an option, and if you do a minimum deposit for your own trading, you do get access to a very active trading community. Okay, Andy, should you have another screen where he cannot monitor the YouTube comments? Yeah, I do have one here in the right. I do have a left here also with more trading view charts, okay, and more tabs. Okay, I do have more screens. I'm just focused on the analysis provided on gold here. Just when I'm like focusing on gold on the scenarios that we are, that I'm looking for here based on the analysis, Elliott wave theory, harmonic, fixed volume profile, impulse up, higher low, and just discussing the setup. Yeah, I just lose focus here on the comment section, guys. I'm sorry, I'm just like focused, right? So yeah, but yeah, I do have comment section on the right and tabs on the left as well. I do have a few monitors. Okay, so nobody can tell you what you, yeah, can we long, you say? I mean, yeah, I mean, this is up to you. Why, you know, why not? Why not? Why not? A bit aggressive, we can say. And the best short today would have been the previous day point of control, a bit wicky. And if you did not short here, naturally with the movement down, it becomes complex to short. But the other shorting zone interesting was these lower highs right there. That would have been interesting for what's the top of the volume, right? They usually get a good reaction. Yeah, we're not. It looks like it wants to roll over. Does look like it wants to roll over. We're trying to hold it, but not doing a great job here. Not doing a great job. It attempted to hold the previous day value area low. It could still hold. This is the shit your pants moment, right? Very difficult to short in this area, in my opinion. Best short would have been at the resistance major confluence block. Very, very difficult to short down here, based on your stop losses. What would be really nice is a pretty nice strong reclaim here. To confirm that this is actually corrective. Get like a strong reclaim here and a correction. You know, when you're trying to catch the low of the reclaim, it does become more challenging, of course. We're getting a quick reaction bounce and a quick retracement. You know, here you're trying to catch the speculation of a higher low with proof of support. Let's be honest, there is support. You are trying to hold that support, but then, you know, an ultimate confirmation before. I mean, this is the thing, sometimes you just get the rally here, very, very steep, and sometimes you create a pump and quick dump, which kind of confirms that you're likely seeing this as a correction. You know, there is some risks here naturally in this downtrend. But yeah, if it wanted to get a higher low, this is really the area. Some local reactions. Previous day value area low trying to do its job. It is trying. So yeah, gold has been covered. Very slow lately. Gold, not much volatility, but this is a swing trade on gold. I think this is a very, very solid swing trade for gold. And remember, you don't need to go extremely aggressive, right? This is only one trade for the pocket, right? I'm really concerned about risk management for a lot of people because, you know, do you really risk 1 to 2% on your trade, right? Some people do take positions larger than what they should, and that's when they get hurt, right? And The main reason I feel sad about it is because I do get these DMs of people just trading irresponsibly. And we do get some comments sometimes of, saying my liquidation is at, somebody was in a long somewhere in this zone, and his liquidation price was literally at 65k. I feel sad about this. I feel really, really sad. It's just irresponsible trading. You need to have a stop loss. You need to have, one trade stopped out. It should be peanuts. Should be 1 to 2%. It's just another trade. It's just heartbreaking, really. But there's always going to be that people trading irresponsibly, right? We are all adults here. You should be anyway, if you're watching the stream. This is not content for kids, and managing risk is part of the game, which is muy importante. And when I get these messages of people having their liquidation price and prices just waterfalling, and they expect a reversal or some support to hold, it just breaks my heart. It breaks my heart, because we need to have stop losses. And regarding Bitcoin trade or the gold trade here, for example, or the Nasdaq trade, right, where we talked about the previous day value area low holding as support, we got an instant bounce, and we kind of want to come down to retest. If you are longing the support on the reaction, right, you got about a minute here to get into the trade. Your stop loss, needs to be below the wick. You move up 1.5, you take profit, depending if you're scalping or not. But yeah, naturally you can take this as a scalp. And lower risk, have 20-30% still open, potentially for all-time high, but lower risk, take most of the profit and have a small position open for maybe some extra profits if you do hit all-time high. But value area low, previous day value area low is the reaction wick level. Your entry is on the reaction. Your stop loss is the wick. You get a pump 1.5 to 1 risk reward. You collect most of the profits. Then not having a liquidation price down here and just adding to position or not, all of that nonsense, it's just going to get you wrecked one day. One day it will get you wrecked. And the main reason I go through this is because I got with this movement down, a couple of DMs even inside of the community. And we're all adults, and then you need to have your stop losses, and the same for gold here. Same for gold. Even though it looks good, it's a great setup, gold might tank tomorrow, right? We all want to get into the corrective structures. We all want to get at the lowest level possible, but we want to manage risk. We need to manage risk for our own safety. And if we don't do so, then we will have a little bit of a bad time. You obviously do recover from it always. You always recover from those bad decisions. You just have a few days where you feel like crap, okay? And when I read these DMs, I feel like crap, because I feel bad for people. I do seriously feel bad for the people that haven't managed risk. It's all great. The good stories are great. We can talk about many good stories, but I like to talk about the bad ones, right? They're not many, but there are some, and it's important to talk about them. So yeah, I'm hoping Bitcoin goes to 50k. Yeah, me too. It would be awesome to buy some spot Bitcoin down there. So yeah. Will we dump even more? Yeah, these questions are really great. Will we dump more? Will we go higher? Yeah, Let's see this about Bitcoin. I kind of want to get into this trade. Because we are trying to hold value area low. You know, I really do prefer SFP kind of trades. There's no doubt about it. They're much better. You know, getting into a higher low in a downtrend is it is difficult. It is difficult because you're obviously downtrending, right? You are downtrending really, even though this does have a chance for a higher low. You know, you're downtrending. You know, it's the SFP level is so much better. So it's so much better for the long attempt. Really, here we need a lot of things. I mean, the bullish CVDs are not only on this exchange, on Binance, on other exchanges. I mean, you need to always double check the CVD, because if you get bearish CVDs, if suddenly you get a massive pump here and lower highs on price action and higher highs on CVD, then it's not going to be good news. But yeah, not great. There's only one exchange, Binance, that has a bit of bullish CVDs, but bullish CVDs in a downtrend is sheesh. You know, liquidity grabs are always much better. The best thing here for this long setup, really, right? We are trying to hold it, but it's looking a bit weak. It's not doing much, right? We're losing the levels. It's not looking awesome. It's not looking awesome here. We are trading beneath the previous day value area low at the moment, so it's not looking too great. It is trying. It is, you know, we're not getting the selling pressure kicking in here for the wave 3. What would turn this into a high probability 3-wave structure is to get that steep push reclaim here. Steep move up and the correction. That's the moment where it looks good. Right now, this is the main problem when you trying to get into a higher low in a downtrend in detecting the first wave 1 and 2 or the first ABC. You know, it's naturally, if it does bounce, it's just going to give you the better entry, but the confirmation to turn this into a high probability 3-wave structure is getting that next move up to invalidate the wave 3 here. Because if you break down in that wave 3, of course, then, you know, well, first possible reaction on the SFP level, or just break down and then obviously, you know, 4-5. So the thing is, you know, how deep is that correction going to be? Will it be very, very quick, or will it just V-shape, right? That's the problem here. But the ideal scenario is to get that quick pullback after getting that push up to invalidate an impulse here on the formation. That's a corrective confirmation. And, you know, this is the move down that you want to get into. And obviously your stop loss becomes a better option, because it goes below the last higher low. There's a bit of a confirmation movement that this is a 3-wave structure. Right now, you're below the value area low. You're not reclaiming it properly. You just got a bit of dancing momentum, so it's not great. Not looking great for the long here. Unfortunately, right? When you do, it's like, you know, is this a good short position right there? You know, if you get above the point of control, right, and you are staying above the point of control and you want to get into the short, Does it become a good short? Well, obviously it doesn't, right? Because you're maintaining above the point of control. As long as you maintain below the point of control, it becomes a good option. So you had an attempt here to reclaim it, get a bit of wiki, but you are trading beneath the previous day value area low. That means it's a local loss of the level. As long as you reclaim it and you maintain above it, it becomes a valid option, stop loss beneath the low of the wick. But the moment you lose it, you know, it's kind of not worth it, right? Despite it reclaiming later on, right? That's the thing. You need to reclaim it for it to be a good trade. But if you lose it, you know, this no longer becomes a attractive long setup. Right, you're below the level of support. It's not reclaimed. Previous day value area low. It's looking weak. Not a great option. Unless you reclaim it, right? Invalidating the wave 3 build up here. Okay, and the same theory comes with the possible short from this pivot, right? So if you're looking to short the previous day point of control, it's the same scenario. If you maintain above the level, then you're naturally not interested in the short. You're breaking it. But if you do fake it, get back beneath it, then the short becomes interesting, right? As long as price action maintains below the level, it's interesting for a short on the fake out. And if you break the level, the long doesn't look too attractive. It looks a bit dangerous, right? So it needs to maintain above that previous day value area low. And if you were to bounce from here, it's just very, very hard. But this no longer looks very interesting for the long. It becomes a little bit dangerous, let's say, unless you reclaim it, right? This is like the shit your pants kind of scenario, but it's not interested. You need to go with the set levels of support and resistance. If you lose it, then you lose it, right? Move on. Look for the SFP from lower prices. Let me just double check here, because I haven't got my SFP level. This one would be a one that I would be happy to attempt if we hit it on stream. This is just going to be a quick reaction bounce for a scalp. But this one would be quite interesting. That's going to be an interesting one to attempt here. 64.9, which is that higher low from the 30th of March. That's going to be a very, very interesting one. That's going to be, if we do get down there in the next couple of minutes, I will attempt that on stream. So let's see if we do get down there. I'm just going to get some stuff ready here. Yeah, I mean, the best, based on Confluence today, the best short zone would have been this one. And if we would have got a bounce here, the best shorting zone would have been the gap area. If you bounce from here, very, very difficult long. Not interested here in a long here. Very, very hard, almost taking out the local lows. This is not really, you lose the support. There's a bit of dancing here, but when you get back below it, it's not worth it. And you can see it on the price action, right? It's just not worth it because you lost the previous day value area low. It should have acted as support. So where's the next level that becomes interesting? It's the SFP. Let's see if we do get that on stream, and we can execute it with a sniper. That's going to be muy interesante. Let's see if we do get that on stream. That is the higher low from the 30th of March. Higher low of the 30th of March on the 4-hourly. And if that is lost, guys, then there's no long. If that is lost, there is no long trade. That means that, oof, bad news, guys, bad news. We could still be developing the wave 3, right? So let's see if we do get down there and we get a bit of a punchy reaction bounce. Much love to everybody. Would an SFP of yesterday's low be a valid trade? Just because we are quite close. Yeah, I mean, naturally, I would seriously prefer. We're so close. We're just a couple of $100 away from hitting that higher low. I would really, really prefer an SFP from this low than a local double bottom, right? Well, that's the thing, you know, you might get a bounce here, right? This is if you bounce from here, this is an incredibly difficult long. You know, there's no way I could long this. But sometimes it happens, right, where you miss a low and you suddenly squeeze up and it's like, wait a minute, what happened? There needs to be, you know, preferably stop hunts are great, right? Because there's obviously stop losses here. So, you know, this the stop loss reaction, you want to be quick in getting into the reaction trade here, basically. So let's see. Do we get that SFP? Vamonos. Let's go. Smash up the like button. Let's see if we do get that live trade. That would, I mean, this level has been a level that I've been waiting for the last 24 hours. So if we do get it here on stream, it would be epic. Are we going to 30k? Getting wrecked soon. Who said Bitcoin was coupled with NASDAQ? No, I mean, I'm not sure who did, but yeah, to the downside, it's not, right? I mean, sorry, to the downside it is. Unfortunately, Bitcoin hasn't been following up the NASDAQ to the upside here for the last few weeks. But it does follow more the dumps. It does follow more the movements down. So we are feeling this little dump today on the NASDAQ with Bitcoin, right? It's not helping. And yeah, why aren't we pumping like we have been doing so in the last forever, right? For the last few weeks. And you know, the movement's down. So Bitcoin dumps when, you know, NASDAQ goes up, and it dumps even more when NASDAQ goes down. So yeah, these movements down do not help, and this is what is very, very concerning on stock market. The moment the stock market, you know, gets another, you know, 5% correction, then it's not going to help Bitcoin, that's for sure, right? Yeah, I was going to end up, we were just over 3 hours now on the stream, guys, but let's see if we do get that low being hit just for the live execution. But it's been almost 3 hours. Yeah, over, how long have we been on the stream now? Long stream marathon. Yeah, over 3 hours on the stream right now. I wanted to keep it around about 3 hours, getting exhausted, but we're coming to an interesting possibility. If we are going to get a bounce from here, guys, and just do this, then I'm going to close the stream. But if we do, let's see if we do get follow through and hit that level. If we do bounce from here, I will be ending the stream. And if we do take out the lows, let's see if we do get the live trade execution SFP, which would be nice, right? See if we do get that reaction bounce. And if it loses the level, there's no trade, right? Pay attention on the wick. If it loses the level, there's no trade, guys, okay? If it just nukes down, no trade. If it wicks, long trade. And I would target the lower highs here. Or at least, yeah, the previous day point of control, right? Yeah, at least, yeah, around about the lower highs. Maybe it won't wick up the lower high. It might create another lower high. But a bounce to the point of control region would be the setup here. $1,000 of a move, give or take, potential. There's the potential of a move of round about $1,000. It can lower highs still, or it can sweep up the lower highs. Let's see. Come on, Bitcoin, just get it done. Get it over with. Wayfair, much love. Your live trading session is doing more than sharing charts. It's helping someone stay motivated, learn and believe in their journey. Keep showing up, keeping teaching, and keeping spreading positive energy. Thank you so much for the kind words, my man. Wayfair, music, much love. Stocks at all-time high and BTC is dumping. When stocks dump, BTC will flash crash. BM, I also believe that. That's the main problem. It's not good that stock market is at all-time high and Bitcoin's dumping. What happens when the stock market drops? Bitcoin will not feel the pressure. This SFP is also the low of the year, guys. Would be nice to bounce there. Interesting. Major liquidity till 63.8k. Yeah, that's the thing about liquidity heat map also. I mean, there is some liquidity. Let's take a look at the liquidity here at the mindpillar.com, because we do have the heat map here also, which we can take a look at. Yeah, around about 63.9, as you said here. Oh my, we're getting some aggressive longs. We're getting some aggressive longs here. What's going on? Muy agresivo. What's happened? Holy moly, what's going on? Yeah, this is not good. We built up so much liquidity here in the last 24 hours. Like someone said, around about that, just set 64k. 63.9, literally right the last little bit. But yeah, some liquidity sweep down, and then the quick reaction bounce, guys. Remember, you do have all of these tools. You got CVD, you got heat map, you got all sorts at the mindpillar.com website, which you can use for free, guys. Valuable free tools. It's this link right over here. CVD, heat map, you got bubbles, you got all sorts. You got many different indicators and tools that you can use here in the Mindpillar website for free. And I think a lot of people are mainly interested as well with CVD. CVD is very, very cool. You got mainly Bybit and Binance and the different time frames to look at CVD here at mindpillar.com, guys. Okay, for free. So yeah, make sure to use it. A little bit boring here. Come on, Bitcoin, just get the drop. Just get the move. I hope that it doesn't create the cheeky higher low here, right? That classic 0.88 cheeky higher low. 0.88 right now hit. the cheeky higher low bounce at the 0.88. If it does get a rally here, we'll close the stream. We'll close the stream, guys. You know, the problem as well with these major lows and major SFP levels is not only there is stop losses, of course, but there's also take profits, right? There is also take profits down here from shorts that are entering, right? So, you know, most are waiting for take profit down here at the lows, and then you miss the lows by $100, and then you like all of the people that shorted, you know, missed out in taking the profit, right? You need to look at the other side of the market as well, right? Which is, you think that there's only stop losses, but there's also take profits, right? And then sometimes market makers like to, you know, play around with you with we're not taking your profits yet. We're gonna stop you out and then get down, which is, you know, it happens, right? It's the markets like to might like to play around. Where you got your orders, I got a limit alert at the SFP level. What I do is I set the alert. I know exactly where it is, and I have to say, unless I'm on the bike, you know, I'm not going to trade it. But I've got the on the phone, I do get the message and the email from TradingView, and I can see it straight away on the ring. I got everything. All the notifications are turned off, such as, you know, Telegram, WhatsApp, and the rest of it, because I'm not mobile is gonna go crazy. But the message and email notification is on if I'm interested in a trade, so I'll know exactly. I'll get the ring on the phone. And this is the importance of, you know, not having a limit order, because I don't know if we're going to break down from this level. I need to check the reaction. I need to have a stop loss, good risk management. If we get the bigger bounce, awesome. I can manage risk. You know, I know where to put stop loss. There's no limit. I don't limit trade. I market execute 97% of the times. I just took the long. I'm impatient. Wow. Well, I'm very, 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 very patient. Market humbled me back in the day. You know, I miss a lot of trades, but I try and get into the good ones, and that's it. I'm in no rush of making quick money. You know, when the good opportunity appears and the trade is executed, and if it's not, we'll just wait till tomorrow or wait for after tomorrow, right? You're doing a great job, much appreciated. RST, much love to you. Thanks so much for the kind comment. Can you answer that, please? What can I answer? Didn't see your comment there. Yes, can you answer that, please? Answer what? I can't see your question. I'm not sure if it's for me anyway. Axikuno, BTC dominance has tanked in the last 2 weeks. We might see BTC go sideways or slow down now to suck liquidity out of alts and Ethereum. Very possible. Very, very possible, yeah. Much love, Andy. Thank you for another great stream. I have to run. Path Maria, much love. Yeah, getting a bit of a local bounce here. It might take, you know, an hour or even two, or even we might not hit it, guys. But this would have been the great zone. Very, very hard to get into a higher low. You know, if it bounces from here, you know, not the long trade that I get into. So, yeah, much love to everybody. Thanks for joining. You know where to find us. If we're not on YouTube, we have a very active trading community. We do provide the updates. Devil is extremely active. I will be active tomorrow, Thursday. Maybe tonight if we do get that long execution. If we do hit the zone, make sure to send me the word access, guys. You do get a few months for free if you sign up throughout Bluffin, 2bit, Weeks. These are great crypto exchanges where you get the best deals and bonuses. And if you do a minimum deposit for your own trading, you will get a few months for free inside of the Telegram trading community, guys, okay? Send me the word access if that is of your interest. Thank you so much. Been over 3 hours now on stream. We're just bouncing around. Let's see if we do hit that low in the next hour or in the next coming hours. Thank you, and I will see you in the next one.